Hello, and welcome to the live stream. Oh, looks like Chunk's here too, Fox. And so is Shunter. Welcome, guys. You guys are right on time today. I usually spend a few minutes getting warmed up, but I'm glad to see you guys here. I'm just trying to get this thing going. I had a phone call, like kind of at the last minute, just as I was going to shut the ringer off. But anyway, I don't know what this thing's doing, so we're just going to keep moving. It's spinning at me. Even though it seems like you guys can see it, right? Hey, Nada. Nenda? Nenad, I'm sorry. I'll get that right. I usually spend like the first 15 minutes kind of recapping what we did last time and would kind of like that to do that again. Just, we really just got started, if you remember. Got our town kind of placed down and have some buildings that we plan on building. And I think we left ourselves with like two different questions in a sense. Like, what do we work on first as far as like a money making industry? We could focus on getting a gravel thing going, which really wouldn't take too long, but takes money. And I think what were we talking about? We could get the coal going more, get into like the prefabs and just get ourselves fully set up, or we mentioned maybe an agriculture industry, and we also have oil right here. So we talked about oil. And if you guys remember, another bit of a debate we had at the very end there was, do we try to build a railroad station, say up to here? I'm not sure what is the best one to do it to. Certainly, I think we should go for a Soviet one just because, you run out of money and then you can't buy any vehicles, which is a bigger deal than running out of dollars. Yeah, this guy doesn't have a rail station there. Yeah, this guy has rail, and he's kind of a bigger one. Not that that matters too much to us at this point. Say this is about the same, so I don't know which one's closer. Either way, we're going to have to try to get, if we don't get rail built up there, then we're going to have to probably get a gas station or two pushed up this way. And I think from our little experiment at the beginning of the last episode, we're going to be good as long as we don't build any buildings in here. So we can pave the roads through here or around here and not affect this guy at all. So that's good to know, right? So that we shouldn't lose any of the people from this town because of that. Now, we may start losing people because they just die, right? I imagine they're having babies. I did have the population statistics up for a second there. Yeah, 0 births. That's a little bit concerning. Now, maybe we've had 14 deaths and no birth. So I'm wondering if, are we going to have to go around and, take care of that kind of issue, right? What do we have here? Oh, more flats, that's right. So we have 824,000, and one of the things that I would be willing to do, it's kind of up to you guys as well, would be to just like we haven't done anything. I haven't moved time. This is like the save from last week. Would you want to like just find out how much the rail costs? Because, we're going to cut through the money depending on how much steel we actually need. And what I did at the end of the last live stream was just come in here when it was like on auto build from rubles. But that's not the same, right? Because I don't know how much more or less that costs depending on the workers involved and the distances, and it may cost us less. It's going to take a while to build up there, but it certainly is something that's doable, right? So let me know what you guys think about that. And other than that, the other great debate is, what industry do we get going? Yeah, no harm. Let me just start doing that. That'll give a few other people a chance to get in. And, when they get in, does one or the other seem like it's better? No. I mean, if anything, maybe this one. Yeah, so let's check. And then what we'll do is we'll just reload the save. So we're just going to, the difference between the wood and the prefabs, it's not like we can't make the prefabs too. And we were going to check on the trains, which I never did, as a possibility. Let's see. Can we just come? No, of course we can't just cross right out of there. So I think what I should do Yeah, of course I can't. All right, let's get a piece of paper, and I'm going to write each one of these down, right? Like, try to do it kind of quickly. Like, every time I place one, oops, too sharp. Okay, I need to get past that. All right, we're going to place this. I can't really see behind me. Yeah, you know what we're going to do? For the purposes of this, we're going to get rid of some road. How's that sound? Now, the looks of it, from what I gathered too, was I think the rail uses the same. No, we're not going to let me go that far. Yeah, you let me go to here though. All right, so, well, you know what? I don't have to write it all down now, right? Because I can click on it when we get done. And that might be better anyway. All right, so I think we're going to talk about the same amount of wood. Really? Of course, I picked the impossible route. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to follow that road now that I've cut it. Yeah, I should be able to just, yeah, can we cut that corner off? Yes, as long as I don't go too far. Come on. So where are we going here? Yeah, last time I tried to go out, I think we should try to stay this way a little bit if I can. Yeah, like that. It may not be the straightest, but I kind of need to miss that mountain a little bit, I think. Which I didn't do, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, let's take it to like there. Yeah, good. Pretty good at driving backwards, aren't I? All right, so where can we get? We're not going to try to make this a huge scientific dilemma, right? All right, so let's get a bridge. That might not be the shortest bridge, but again, we could debate the overall costs. Where are we trying to get to? Nanad, somewhere up here. Yeah, let's. Cool. And then we're going to need a train depot. We're going to need, well, I guess it depends on what we, let's assume the most expensive, just so we're not underestimating ourselves, right? So the worst case scenario we would do, now we're not going to do aggregate, so never mind. We're either going to do oil or other stuff. I think oil is a little more expensive, so fine. All right, so we'll need that. And then the other side, we don't need anything. You know, if we did oil, it'd be a little bit. Anything else you guys can think of? No, I don't know about the hack. But we already have. Oh, you mean like to be able to place the town buildings, or the just like put them on the map as if you started a new one? All right, so let's get a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper. That one has stuff on it, and I'm going to just click on one of these, and I'm just gonna write a G for gravel, and a P for prefabs, and a S for steel. So we have 250, 83, 41. It'd be nice if there was a way you could, yeah, so where does that end? Right there. All right, I'm going to be a little bit quiet, not tell you guys all the numbers. Can you guys actually see the numbers? just out of my own curiosity. Oops. 74. Oops, I didn't think of bricks. Ooh, that's expensive. 255 steel there. Ouch. Now we might be able to save a bit on that, right? And then 30 tons of prefabs. Okay. So no gravel, which does actually make sense, doesn't it? Yeah, 255. Ow. You know what? I think I'm going to do a few of them at once. Where does this one end? All right, so we'll pick up right there. Don't write the same one down twice. Not the most exciting way to start a live stream, is it? This is the kind of thing I do sometimes, like when I say, hey, I want to pause, or when I'm doing stuff off camera. All right, so we're going to start here. That one's pretty long. I can see that that one's pretty long. All right, we'll do this one, and then I can't see anymore. Geez, there is quite a few, isn't there? I should write smaller. Yeah, I'm running out of paper. That's right, we can curve it a little bit. All right, what I'm mostly worried about is the steel price here. We're going to get it. And all right, let's close all those. I think we're almost done. I don't know if you guys can see those as well. This one should be pretty short. Yep, that was that one. We're almost there, guys. Nope, that's the same one. Good. Okay, so yeah, and like I said, I was kind of planning on doing this when there's usually not too many people here in the very beginning. Kind of curious about it anyway, right? Like, how much does a trail, like, I don't really usually pay attention to how much the rail tracks cost the materials, right? Okay. Let me look at your chats real quick. And I think sometimes you seem to be able to with the river comment. Now the only other thing I would say is, yeah, I mean, is that a cheat? I mean, I understand you can do it. It's part of the game mechanics, but it is sort of a cheat, right? Why don't I fund construction? Because the more you fund constructions, the more money you spend, the less chance you have of living. Like in other words, we can compare. That's actually kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this. So let me yeah, can I open the oh no, we'll try to do it on this. It's a little weird to type on this other computer, but let's just add, well, you know what, I can add. But here, you know what, I'm going to mute it so that if I talk while I'm at it and I don't confuse people. I'll be right back. Okay, about 580 tons of steel. And here's, we could do a little bit of, because we know that they're proportional. Like in other words, one of them actually had really good round numbers. So we need let me make sure this is the right proportion. We need 6 tons of gravel. We need 2 tons of prefabs or wood, right? It's the same thing, same quantities. And then, or we need 1 ton of steel. So we can kind of go backwards. So in other words, if we need 600 tons of steel, it means we're going to need 1,200 tons of panels. Does that make sense? And it means we're going to need 3,600 tons of gravel. Sorry, I'm trying to write and talk. So let's just go look at the pricing, knowing that it's going to go up a tiny bit while we're building it. All right, so if we come over here and look at the prices, and we could kind of make a comparison when we add this up, by the way, the Fox, and we'll see how much more it would cost us if we actually see, right? Because we can say finish all the tracks for X number of dollars, right? All right, so let's come over here to the current prices. So this is like $397. So I think it would be pretty fair to just call that 400. By the time we get it built, it's probably even going to be higher than 400, but whatever. We don't need to be that critical about it. And then we need 1,200 prefabs. So 1,200 prefabs is going to be $23 approximately. So let's just call that 25, since in some ways it's just going to be a little bit easier number to deal with. And then on the gravel, we'll just round that one down a little bit to 10 so that it's super duper easy to deal with. All right, so that's going to be 36,000 in gravel. And then I will get my calculator out to make sure I do this next part right. So 25 times 1,200 for the prefab panels, it's 30,000. That's so we actually need, it costs you more for gravel than it does the prefab panels. Yeah, and that makes sense, even though, because you need 3 times the prefab. It's pretty close though. So we're up to 66,000, plus then we need 400 times 600, which I could probably have done in my head, but this way I at least get the zeros right. 240,000. So if we add 240,000 for the steel, you're talking about 300. Well, I don't know if we're going to be that exact, but 306,000. Now again, that could be a little bit higher or a little bit lower. So 306,000. Now let's come over to here, right? Oops, wrong one. Let's see. What does it say? See, yeah, we'd have to add up each one. We could do the math. Let's do the math on the biggest section, which was, yeah, the one that had 300. There was a real big section. Most of the, just do the biggest section because it would give you the best. There you go. So this section, and it also has like nice round numbers, costs 300 gravel, which would be 300 times 10 is 3,000, right? And then you need 100 prefab panels times 25 is going to be 2,500. And then you need 50 steel times 400 is what? 20,000? So you're talking 27,500 for the materials only. And it would cost you 38,000 to build with rubles. Now, that's just the materials, right? So it's, here, let me write the 38,000 down. 38. Did I round it too much one way or the other? Let's close this one. 38,090. Make sure it wasn't like 38,900 or something. So 38,000. So it's going to cost you what? 11,000 more. So the question is, having your, well, you're going to have the depot anyway. By the way, we didn't count the depot and what it's going to cost us either. So the depot would be another 15 tons of steel plus other stuff. So that 15 tons of steel times 400 is going to be 6,000. It's going to cost us, at least, I'd say 7,000 or 8,000. Oh, well, thank you for doing that, Uncapping Badger, and welcome to the stream. Need a building for these calculations? Yeah, well, like I said, I wanted to spend a few minutes. I was hoping to get on earlier, like before I even started the stream and do most of that. And then as I was on the phone, kind of being anxious about getting off, and the person wouldn't be quiet, and they were telling me stuff I kind of needed to know, but at that point, yeah, like it was one of those, I'll just try to do it before anybody shows up. And then, of course, a lot of you are here today right away. But there we go. So, and again, I'm not trying to make this too much. The truck is going to be a lot cheaper. It's not going to be free, right? So we're talking about, add another little bit more because we need some support buildings. You're talking about 350,000 to get the trains going. And then if we take Uncapping Badger's comment there, let's assume that we could really say like a little less than that, because you have to compare it to the trucks. And the trucks will need like gas stations periodically. Now the train should be okay, I would assume, going up there and back with the fuel, but we need a train fueling station. And here's my debate. The trucks are going to be a lot cheaper, and it's not a matter about is the trains better. Yes, they're better. There's just really no question about that. Could we make this bridge a lot cheaper? Probably. We could probably bring it over here more, but who knows? We might end up winding around in different paths. The question then becomes, do we want to use 300,000 of the money that we have left just to do our transport of stuff up there, which doesn't, in a sense, make us a dime, right? Like, we're not going to make any more money necessarily than if we had a whole fleet of trucks driving. Well, we would. Once we started exporting enough, that will be beneficial. But it's not going to make us our first dime, if you know what I'm saying. Like, so that would leave us only in the neighborhood of, and we'd be pushing at 400,000. I mean, I know it's like, say, 500,000 left to get whatever other industry we needed to build. All right, so while you guys chew on that fact, let me come over here, and I quit, and then I did save it anticipating this, and really quit. And it should be my first game right here, right there. I just resaved it as the start of this one, so it would be at the top of the list. Okay, so here we are, back like we never did all that. And ready to go and decide. So, a show of hands. Let's first decide. Well, I guess we need to decide on this because it might affect what we build next. Are we going to build a railroad track or are we going to do the trucks? So I'll give like 30 seconds or so if you guys want an opinion. And I will read uncapping badgers and the other comments I might have missed while I wait. All right. Plus, now I got my screen straightened out. The one I mentioned in the very beginning was just sitting there spitting at me. I got it reloaded. All right. So, uncapping badger says, yeah. And the question is, we have to survive to get to the long term, right? You know, keep in mind, our people will be eating more and more, and if we don't use that money to build a power plant, as we fire up more and more of these industries, the power is going to cost us more and more. And even though it may not be a big issue for us initially, you know, all of these prices are going to go up and up and up as time goes on. So, you know, that will become an issue as well. All right, so Chunk would like us to do, I'm assuming, is that rails? And is there any other votes on it? So if we decide to do the rails, what we should do is, you know, probably get them going. And as far as the price of wood versus prefabs, now the other thing we could say is, you know, we could cut some of the money out by building the gravel industry. However, obviously that's not, you know, that's not necessarily the most lucrative. Now the other thing is, where would we build the rail station from? It would be kind of nice to attach it to this. I guess we could just purchase everything in the rail construction office. Yeah, there you go, Chuck. That's that. Yeah, RSIL. I was going with the fact that it began with an R and ended with an L, and you know was kind of had an S in it and an I, and it's sort of, you know, like a word scramble of sorts. Okay, Fox. I'm gonna write that down, Fox. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but I know just so you guys know, I figured out the press. You got to hold them all at the same time. C, H, and E is like cheat mode, and then if you do, he's saying left control B. Now the other one, what was the one I had mentioned before? Um, Left control L, I think it is, unlocks all the vehicles. So if you wanted to unlock all the vehicles. Now okay, so now we got a 50-50 thing here going, um, as far as the trucks or rails go. Anybody want to break the tie besides me? Like I said, this is a socialist democracy, something that really has never existed to any great extent before some dictator came and took it over. But anyway, I'm not going to get into politics of the issues of socialism, but does anyone want to break the tie? So, okay, well, here's what I have to say about it. This is, if no one else wants to break the tie, I'm fine with that. I would like to see how much it costs us to get our initial industries going and then make the decision. So how's that for a bureaucratic kind of answer, right? Like, in other words, let's just see. We don't have to do either, right? Like, not immediately. We still have some money. We can start getting things built. So let's go on to the next question, in other words. And depending on the answer to that, like, in other words, are we better off building a refinery? And if it cost us $500,000 to get the refinery going, like, I would rather then do the trucks than spend our last 300,000 on the rail, right? Like, so I think we can afford to decide at this point. And yeah, like, do we keep building on this stuff over here? We haven't built any of it. This is our coal mine, remember? This is, and again, I laid that out because we had the coal right here. So the next question, another Democratic vote. You guys are getting them all real early. Let me show you where the oil is for those of you who might not have been here in the past or the past week or whenever we did look at this map. So all down, like, kind of through here, it's sort of a little bit of a comma shape, like, or maybe, I don't know, kind of straight across here. Let's see, can we, you know let's see, we have tools here now, so we could kind of, yeah, like we could just, it's not costing us any money. So we have oil, like, sort of in this area, right? Let's see, how good did I do? Yeah, that was pretty excellent, I may say. Yeah, a little bit further over this way, maybe. Right, something like that. So there's oil. And I marked that out too, cleared the trees out so we would know. And you know what we can even do? Let's, just so we don't build anything here, let's just sort of take one of the free roads and just sort of do like this number, right? Oops, what happened there? No, you don't want to go up that hill? Okay, I don't blame you. I don't like walking up hills either. Oh, come on, turn green. I just want a little road there. There we go. So we know not to build in that box right there. Either way, whatever we decide. So now, you know, if we built, you know, our refinery oil processing up here, we would be close to the people, and we could, you know, like, this is the center of our town. So one of the reasons I kind of put it like I did was that we could build into our refinery area, no problem. You know, we're going to have to bus people up there anyway, but if we get this going first, which is really just mostly, I don't know if you guys remember, but this is a gravel processing plant. This is a brick factory, which would need the gravel and just needs the coal, right? But if we put the brick ore processing, we could have some quarries up here. We can get that going pretty quickly, right? Just a couple more quarries, and here's a road that we would somehow have to get up there. And then this is a coal mine coming down into a coal ore processing plant, going to a large aggregate storage for the coal, coming into our bricks, right? So we could get bricks going pretty quickly. Now, just as a sort of placeholder, if you guys remember, I was talking about a cement plant, and we could also potentially have a prefabs plant. Now, I think we might have decided to switch these around from what I was initially picturing for some reason, but we can get into that later. So, in other words, once you have gravel and coal, we can get into prefabs, we can get into cement, right? So think about that too, as, you know, like, I'd like to undo time here pretty shortly. And we should, you know, decide on whether or not we're going to build these things or not. Or just start building a farm or an oil refinery or anything else that people suggest that makes at least sense of some sort. Get the gravel going. Yeah. There's, you know, we can't hoard anything though, because we need to get income. So while the diplomatic idea may be great, it's the financial idea that doesn't always work out, right? It does, but I don't really ever pay any attention to the pollution. It's not really implemented at this point. You know, generally speaking, the amount of pollution that you get is just not, it doesn't really do them any harm. As long as you have a healthy population and they're happy, you know, I guess you could argue that if you're not making enough babies, it could add to the problem. But, you know, another thing we don't have, speaking of that, just eventually we'll need a hospital, I think. Yes, food is not that. Here's another thought. This is from the experience from the first live stream that we did. I'm not sure how many of you guys may have gone back and watched it or were there. But it's going to cost us about 300. This is another thing about the trucks that's not a positive. It's going to cost us probably about, I would guess, in the neighborhood of 300 rubles per round trip to get the trucks up there. So what that means is that anything that we can't make with at least, let's say the average truck here holds about 10 tons, right? I don't know which ones we can buy this early, but we would need a covered haul, right? And this guy can hold 10 tons of crops or 6 tons of food. So let's say we wanted to try, it's going to cost us the same amount, I think, no matter which thing it hauls. So if it goes to take the food up there, it's going to cost $300 to take it up there. And then if we come over here to how much the food is worth, then it's worth 134, right? So in other words, we're going to get in the neighborhood of 800 maybe for it, something like that, 700. So 400 of it is going to of the money is going to be gone just in the shipping costs. Plus, it's not free to make the food, right? Because we did have to provide crops, which aren't that expensive, but you have to raise the crops and pay the people, So, these things that are around $300 are usually, I'm sorry, the things that are like under $200 or $300 are really not worth shipping necessarily too much from the middle of the map. Not in and making like good money, in other words. Like we don't necessarily want to ship something up there so we make like $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of effort for $100 or $400 even. But here's what I was going to say about the crops. The crops lead you to fabric, which you can sell for 400. Crops lead you to where is it? Alcohol, 280. You know what I mean? So each of those things is a decent thing that's probably worth driving up there because it's they're $400 or $300. Now it's a little harder to make the fabric, but then if we get the fabric, which we probably wouldn't sell directly, it's not that big a stretch to get $1,500 for clothes. Now clothes, it takes a lot to make the clothes. You don't get a ton of them when you start your clothing industry, but every truckload, now you're talking about, well, how much could that truck carry of that? If we went back to covered haul, 6.5 tons of clothes. So in other words, that truck, going up there would net us something around 9,000 for each truckload. So that's the advantage to getting a farm going. Not to mention, you're also cutting down on your expenses. Because remember, this game isn't necessarily about making money. This game is about balancing your budget. Like, in other words, if we can get this to, well, I'm sorry, let me come up to here. Oop, wrong one. If we can get this to 0, right, where we're not consuming, if we can get this to be net positive, or even our expense report, right? Like right now, we're importing more. If we could just get this to 0 here, in a sense, right down here, we can indefinitely keep going, right? The problem is, not even allowing for the construction. We're just spending way more, and a lot of this was the start, but, we're buying food and alcohol for these people. So that's the benefit that I like about starting with food first. We don't have to do some big, huge, elaborate food thing, just a couple farm plots, a couple tractors. The other thing that's nice about that, it doesn't require any people. So every person that we get in here, we have to feed, right? And that costs us money. But again, the oil is pretty down and dirty, and we could export it relatively quickly. But let me read some of the chats. Yep. So I hear one vote for food. Do we have another vote? And we are still tied on the rail car versus trucks decision. Just so if anybody does want to throw their vote, mine is kind of wait and see. So does anybody else had now the Fox? Is that your? Yeah, we also don't have to worry about the pollution issue if we go with the food. We could probably, probably like right over in this area, set up like bakery and like. Well, by the way, you can get meat, food, and alcohol, and in addition, the clothes can be made from that, and all four of those things. What I was talking about with the balancing. All four of those things are about cutting down on what we're importing, for the people. Food and cars. Okay, we'll work on the cars after the food. So, any other thoughts? Any other voters? I can see there's a few more people out there, and I just want to give everybody a chance before I start plopping down a farm. So okay, I think we should go ahead and, do we want to get bricks going while we're doing this? That would be my last question. Or do we want to get the quarry going for gravel first? Yeah, I would agree. As things, once we get to a stable point, and really the other thing when it comes to building the rails, if you can have a steel mill, it makes just a massive difference on that pricing. All right, so let's okay, let me get these guys doing stuff and let's start time just so we don't spend the whole entire 3 hours with me talking too much. All right, so I'm going to have them build this road, and you know what? We can build this road at the same time. And then what I need to do is one way or the other. All right, so let's start time on slow mode while I'm designing. And then I need to get a gravel road up this way. Can I? Yeah, I was hoping for that. Yeah, don't take your. Yeah, you know what? It's not real pretty down here, but I don't care. Okay, so let's go look for a good place. We just have to put one quarry in, right? We don't need. I think this was a good call, the Fox. So that's why I jumped right on it before I waited any longer. And I'm sorry for those people who want to see tons of action. And I just spent the last 45 minutes with time paused. So my apologies. We'll try to keep it moving from this point forward, right? All right, so let's see if we can find a nice place for a quarry. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't get. I mean, that's not bad either. You know what, though? But this is really good. Can we? Let me put on the wireframe so I can see. Let me. Yeah, I'm going to start leveling like right here, I hope. Oh, really? You turn green that fast for me? We'll just do some building leveling, hopefully. Now, once you get a little level spot, then you can usually go for a little bit bigger building. And they've changed my buildings a little bit. Can we get a... Yeah, see, we can get a kindergarten. Yeah, that's what you want to see right there. Like, get on that spot and get this bigger building cut in there. It's not a big building, but... And then that way we could push this guy right in. And we'll turn it this way. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good spot. It's not that overly steep. Well, the only thing I would say about at this exact moment, that idea, the Fox, is I'm just going to call you Fox if that's okay. Is that we're already just starting this one. but yes, if this one ends, like we did, I'm not sure if you were around or watched the ones that we did at the end there, like we did kind of all vote on what we wanted to see for the next series and decided to do it like this way. So, but yeah, like I don't plan on restarting necessarily right at this moment. But other than that, yeah, like when the next time we restart, this is about let's all get together on a Saturday afternoon, discuss the game, and relax a bit, and hopefully learn from each other as much as anything else. All right, let's see how that is. They moved my buttons around on me, which I'm not unhappy about. Just, yeah, you know what? That's going to be a wonderful quarry right there, assuming we can get a road out to it, which I am telling you we can. So let's get our quarry. All right, let's go. Oh, I need a free excavator. Okay. Really? Where did our excavator decide to go? Oh, he's getting brought up there. Okay, excavator. I haven't seen the car mechanic at all. Like what you guys have seen of my videos, if you watched them during the week, is like almost everything I did in the game. So it's it's just one of those things, right? Like it's tough for me to get into it when I have so much recording to do in a sense. Like, but I definitely, you'll see in tomorrow's episode, we're definitely, I want to get into the cars like kind of next, just because it's always been the goal to get self-sufficient, right? Not that we're importing cars anyway, but you know, before I import them, I don't even know, can you import cars? I didn't even look. That's probably a good question, isn't it? Can we, guess we can answer that while they're getting done those roads over there, right? Yeah, I don't see. So can you buy cars from large parking lot? Like if you put down a large parking lot, can you buy cars from the Americans or something? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think we need that wireframe on. All right, so that's going to be that. So then it sounds like getting the gravel going is just, it'll save us some money. It's not a huge amount, but it'll also give people things to do as our population hopefully grows. Hello, NTH. I like just the other thing is, I don't know about the mechanic, but I like the idea, absolutely. I'm glad they did that. There would probably be other things I would have picked first, but I also hope they get all the basic mechanics that they're thinking of in first, right? Because I think that the way they have the program written, it looks like people could mod it, right? And if people can mod it, then all they need to do is put in like the mechanics so that the program works with the mods, right? So I'd rather see them get in some kind of complicated new, like I can tell that it's a new mechanic, right? By the sense that like no other industry works like the cars do. So imagine a modder could come in and you could make bulldozers or you could make other things, which is really cool. So we still need an excavator. Now why are our trucks, where's our gas station? Didn't we build a gas station? And you know what, did we build a firehouse? Yeah, there's our firehouse. Why can I not find our gas station? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm pretty sure we built a gas station. Yeah, that's our open hauls. Where are our dump trucks? Come on, dump trucks. Oh, they're in here. Oh, it just takes them it takes them that long to load? Yeah, I guess it does take a while, but you would think it would be faster, wouldn't you? Maybe it's just me. Okay. Yeah, and unfortunately this guy is the slowest of them all. Yeah, military factories. Like I said, if they can, but picture, in the future, if they get the mechanic in place of building vehicles, then you can, there's the modders can work within that, which is cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to check that out in the series as quickly as I can. No doubt. All right, what is this? This is our cement silo. That's right. For future, I've learned in this game, definitely put down the, if you think you might need a parking space in the future, just put it down, right? Because you build yourself in like this, and then you don't end up with enough parking spaces to come, say, well, the bricks factory is not too bad because you get three of them in there, four of them in there. Yeah, this is a storage yard. Yeah, we just need to get people up here. Then we put a bus station. Did we put a bus station up here? I thought we did. Is that the bus? What is this? Or were we going to put a bus station in and I never did it? Yeah, I'm not seeing a bus station up here. Yeah, we definitely need a bus station somewhere up here. Now these, I think we could drop people right off to some of these. I think we're going to need a bus to go to here. Oh, you know what? We have the bus station here. Yeah, let's see. We can at least, I know that they'll get over to here, right? So we probably need to plan on a footpath, huh? Let's see. Can we just curve you? Right. Yeah, and then I'll wait to even commit to that until we'll leave it white so I don't forget. And then we have this we got to work on too. But this guy needs to get done. But this guy has all his gravel, so now we should be at least getting the gravel up there. Now, how is our people doing down here? We really need to keep an eye on that. We got their happiness. I forget exactly where we started, but their happiness is definitely going up, which you would expect. Because here they have church. It's not a huge church, but they have it. What is this? This is flats. Oh, you know what we don't have? Do we have school? Oh, yeah, there's the school. Yeah, we got enough teachers. And we got kindergarten. Yeah, we got kindergarten. You know what? We don't have sports. Yeah, so as we get this done, once we get to a certain point, I'd like to get the sports built and this other prefab. Now, how many people? Yeah, we're not overflowing yet. Yeah, and Fox, I saw your chat. I'm not sure of any of the cheat codes other than I looked it up for the unlock the vehicles. But you're talking about, like, so you don't need a university. I'm really not into cheating. Like, the unlock the vehicles thing I looked for because once you got to 1995, it used to, like, you couldn't buy half the vehicles or more. Like, you know, so it's like you couldn't buy any more fire trucks type thing. So to me, it's not a matter of cheating. It's a matter of, you know, like you just couldn't play the game any further. And after 80 episodes, I didn't want to have to end for that reason, you know? So that's sort of why I did that at that point. But yeah, otherwise, no, I'm just not into the whole, no, we'll build, I mean, we're going to, and I know you're not asking me to do anything about that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm going to build the chemical plant and all that stuff, or the university so we can research the chemicals and all that kind of stuff. And especially, yeah, I mean, I don't know, to me, that's the challenge, right? So, and I guess the reason I'm saying all of that is because then I'm just not the type to go looking for those things, like, very often. Unless there's something like the vehicles that you can no longer purchase and your 80-some episode series is about to end because because you can't buy the vehicles in the dumb game anymore. Which, by the way, I didn't do. I didn't actually cheat. They went and I think it's after like 1990. I don't know. One day they were there. It was like 1996 or 97. Next thing you know, like I could buy all the vehicles again. So, and I didn't hit the cheat codes or anything like that. Or unlock it in any other way. You know what? I don't know. That's bothering me too. I wish I knew. It's obviously some kind of a hot bar, but I don't know how to put anything up there. And when I was like off camera, I went there and thought, well, there would be a way. Like, can you add a building to it? Like, but I don't really see. And I tried to hit like the different command, like, some games you hit Control One or something, like, select the building. Like, but it would be cool if you could come over here and then like hit, I'm hitting Control and One, right? And then it would add it, or you left click on it when you're hitting Alt, or let's try. I don't think I tried that. Yeah, see, like that's me holding Alt and clicking on the building, like. Yeah, drag. There's no way to really drag it over and drop it on there. Like, but I think it would be real cool if you could put different buildings there, right? No, no, no. I don't know what it does. I mean, it's just other than to say it's some kind of a hot bar. And I mean, I looked for different. There's nothing up here that's new that would let you like add the hot bar, or a lot of games you could drag things. So, could it be for the vehicles? Like, and I came in here and there's no, I don't know how you would put it in there if it's for the vehicles. So I don't know. I mean, I tried to read the forums, and they didn't have anything on it for the forums. Okay, we're done that road. Okay, so is our excavator back? You know what? Let's assign. Here, you know what I'm going to do? He's going to go to the gas station first, probably, isn't he? Yeah, I want to assign these buildings, but you know what? While he's not back there, let's assign. Yeah, when he's not in there, boom, we'll assign that little road to get done. Yeah, we don't need any of that till we start working on the coal. Is that excavator parked? Because I might just pause time for a minute until I get that. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't help there. I'm not sure how to say your name. Bode has speaks. All right, let's pause for a second because I think that excavator's in there, just so we can get this done. All right, and I'm quite certain I can. Yeah. Good. Quite simple. Now, hopefully we can get somebody down from there, or, well, we can even come back over here. Yeah, that's a pretty good gravel spot there, so. All right, so now, the other thing, the Fox, you had said something earlier. Okay, Bud has speaks. Buddha speaks. Okay, I got you. Bud has speaks. Kind of close, right? Like, okay, Bud has speaks. That's fine. Sorry. Yes, I can be a knucklehead sometimes. I'm going to try to cheat this guy that way a little bit, and then this guy, you can't attach that way. That's all right. You can go the other way. Yeah, and then can I? Really, you won't. That's good enough. All right, so there we go. So yeah, we're going to need to get that worked on. Okay, so we're paused. Let's stop pausing. And we have that little road assigned. And I think what I'll do is, just because we can, why don't we assign, doesn't connect yet, and that's why we don't assign that. Why don't we see about, all right, that's just a parking spot. Yeah, these are all built. We'll build this gravel road. And we might as well build that little piece too while we're at it, right? All right, let's speed up the time a little bit more. Hey, Gas Mask, welcome back. And Buddha speaks, welcome, by the way, too. And NTH, if I didn't say hello and welcome. Glad to see you guys here on this. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Pennsylvania, the United States. It's like, I don't know Celsius that well, but it's probably like 26 Celsius as a high temperature, like just just kind of a perfect sunny day. All right, so after that, after this gets done, what are our dump trucks doing? You going to get fuel, buddy? Where are you going? You going down to do that road? Okay, that's good. That road should get done quickly. How is our population? Yeah, I don't know. Did it go down a little bit? I'm hoping it goes up. How is our overall population? 6 births, 6 deaths. Okay, we're into February. Let's do this year. Okay, but at least this month we seem to be doing better for some reason. Let's hope that trend continues. But we probably should get another house. I'd like to stay ahead of the housing for a couple reasons. One, get as many people being born as we can. But I'm also, never having played on a populated map, I'm a little nervous about all these people dying off and not having babies and stuff. Do they just stay stagnant, or do they eventually like just fade away from attrition or something? Yeah, 18C is getting a little bit cool, isn't it? So we do Fahrenheit here, but you know what? Here's something about, like, obviously there's sort of what I would call an ongoing debate about the Celsius and Fahrenheit thing, and the metric system really needs a measurement between a centimeter and a kilometer, or even a meter. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of, you either measure in a centimeter or you jump up to a meter, where it's just sort of like, we have a foot, and that's a good measurement. It's the size of your foot. Like, for certain things, that's, just a good size gauge to use. Like, many things in your life are 2 feet, or 0.6 meters kind of thing, But I guess you have a decameter, wouldn't it be? Decimeter? There is one in between, isn't there? Like 10 times, 1/10 of a meter. Yeah, do you guys use decimeters that much? I never really hear people talk about decimeters. All right, come on. We're on fast forward mode. Just so you know, a minute is each day is a minute, and fast forwarded each day is 20 seconds. So this is 3 times as fast. So why are we sitting on our butts? Source of workers is empty. Really? Yeah. Why are you empty? Yeah, see, I don't want to really assign. That's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons I want to get another building. I don't necessarily want to assign. Like, I want to leave one building just for people to go and work in, and then the other one, like, we'll assign this one for everybody to go to the bus stop, but then I want to put some people in, well, not there, that's the school, in here, just, you know what I'm saying, so I don't have to micromanage where people go for these buildings. Oh, I'm sorry, Fox. Well, welcome. Glad you could make it for at least an hour, and the stream will be up for you to watch the end of it if you want. And thanks for your input. I do appreciate it. This week and last week, good to see people come back week after week. All right, come on. Can we get some people going up here? I really don't have anybody who's coming to the thing. You're going to make me a sign like you just got all, or is it Sunday morning? Is this a Sunday? Does anybody know? Like they really do like them some church, don't they? I mean, how much church? Well, some of them are going to school. We should probably build a footpath for them to get to the school easier too, huh? Let's at least lay it out. Yeah, we can. I don't know. Can we get that? you know, we'll have to do it this way. That's okay. Yeah, can we get one? Is that attached? Doesn't really look very attached, but yeah, why don't we do that? And I won't attach these until we get that one done. Made two different pieces. Really? Can anybody? I mean, having everybody here is great, but I do definitely need people to go up to work in the. Yeah, you can't visit a hospital though, and you can't do sport. But you know what? A lot of them are going to get educated. Yeah, that's. Yeah, well, we really need this house built then, don't we? Hey, Raymond. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. We're having problems with our people not wanting to go to work in construction. Yeah, this is another prefab. Yeah, we could build this one too, couldn't we? There's literally like nobody going to the bus stop all of a sudden. Why are you... look, we lost 5 of them. Is that really the difference between... Yeah, and a lot of these people... a lot of them are pretty well educated. Well, let's go grab some people. Oh, wait, you know what? We can grab them automatically, can't we? Oh, no, we have to do it before we build them, right? Yeah. Let's go grab some people out of this town because I at least need to get another flat working. So, I mean, I'm all for getting more people up here, but yeah, we might as well. All right, somebody please go work in the construction office for me. All right, I guess I'm just going to have to assign them to do it, which is really going to stink, but like nobody is going up there. Are you going to go up there? No, they want to be firemen. They want to be everything else but this. Well, there you go. So I guess I have to just do this at least temporarily, right? I don't want to leave maximum number reach. Yeah, see, that's sort of what I was worried about. Like we're going to starve other needs, but at least we'll get so let's prioritize. Yeah, these roads are fine. We'll let you finish your roads, but then I can't select either one of these. Do this road too. But yeah, we can't leave this on there. Yeah, see, they can't get a tavern. They can't do sports. But at least we're constructing stuff again. Yeah, we'll get those little roads done. Yeah, because they're already half. Those 2 were nothing. And then the other things that were assigned were like the roads to the houses. So I'm not sure which one. I guess it would be. I'm not sure which one it's better to do. There you go. Drop off some more people. Get that road done down here. Yeah, Dessa and Deca is, yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh, we're bothering NTH. Are you talking about the decision? Yeah, I know how metric works. That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, did you know like the entire United States government uses metric system, and so like the military, American military, and a lot of our, like we buy vehicles and stuff from around the world. Like I have a set of metric and a regular set of imperial, like wrenches and stuff. So, you know, we do use both. Not just like in our normal speak, you could say. It's almost like, why doesn't everybody in Europe speak English? Well, you don't want to, right? Like you're not from England. I'm not from France. Why would I use their measuring system, you know? But yeah, so it's we do use it. So I know I'm very familiar with it. Hey, good evening, Radomir. We are trying to build things. Okay, now we're going to build this house right here because I think why not? Okay, so now that we have people assigned to there, why don't we have anybody up here? What happened to our... Didn't we have a bus going up here? All right, let's slow down a minute. So we don't have a bus that goes up there. We need to get a bus that goes up there. Oh, wait, we got this little guy. Why is he... Yeah, this is... Yeah, okay. We'll start. There you go. I guess, you know what, I don't remember. Maybe I shut it off because we weren't using it. Yeah, we don't have any workers. But good. So we'll get that house built ASAP so we can take this guy off of having to send workers all over the place. And we're still just now that we're now that we're into it, we kind of like we had one vote for rails, one vote for trucking things out, and so it was sort of left up to me, who said, "Well, let's see how much it costs," because we kind of figured out that just in the materials, it was going to, and that's assuming the materials don't go up in price too much. It's going to cost us like around $325,000 to build the rails manually. So what I decided was we're just going to hold off until we actually get the industries going. And then it seems like we're leaning towards building the food industry, but we also decided to get the gravel going just because it's something that we're going to use for everything else. And it really isn't going to cost us that much to build the steel plant here, the gravel plant, and will save us a good amount. If we go to build railroad tracks, it'll help with the railroad tracks, or if we go to asphalt, because remember, we have to pave with asphalt everywhere we want to go. And then here's where our oil is over here, for those of you who are new to the series and need a catch-up. We pointed it over here to put in some farm fields if we went the farming field route. And obviously, we also have the possibility, we have coal up here. So we got a coal processor we laid out last week with storage, and then a brick factory. But there's other things that we can make with the coal, like the cement, and the prefabs would use the cement at that point. What else? Well, power. We could make power. Now, we can't sell power. That's one of the rules to make this more challenging, is that we're not going to be allowed to sell power. So how are we doing? Missing resources. Did we get a few people in here, I hope? And are we making... We don't have any gravel. Why don't we have any gravel? Oh, because you're all full. Right? Cannot, yeah, okay. So we made a little bit. So we're okay. Now why? Okay, yeah, there we go. So we're just waiting on. Okay, good. We're in good shape. All right, so, well, we're not going to just sit there and stare at that, but we definitely need to keep an eye on this. Unable to visit a pub or participate in sports. Yeah, we're going to work on that sports thing too, but at least we're pretty happy, right? We shouldn't be losing people to escape. If we take a look at this year... Yeah, no escape. So births and deaths are about even. And I'm okay with that for the moment. We're going to get some more houses going here. Because that's another thing we got to really do, is get our population stabilized, right? Now this is just something kind of fun for us to be able to do on a Saturday afternoon, Raymond, to answer your question there, where we're just sort of, it's the live stream where it's just a completely different map. The first time we like started over here, and then it was like, over here there's like nothing. There's no coal, there's no anything. And then we managed to get, this was with an unpopulated map, we managed to, prove that you can start here with some pretty rigorous conditions, just like a super hard challenge kind of thing. And I would call this a pretty hard challenge. I mean, we're on the hardest start mode. We're in the middle of the map. We have a couple extra rules, like we can't export power. And if we want to, anywhere but like right in here, we can't start a new town. So in other words, if we wanted to like go build something someplace else or find some resource, we'll have to find a town that's close by that resource. In addition, if we want to build power lines, we have to pave the road first, right? So in other words, that makes it a lot more challenging to get the road paved in order to build the power lines all the way up there. So that's another argument maybe towards doing trains, right? Because if we want to get a gas station up here for these guys to be able to make the trip, it means we have to pave the roads all the way up to here, which would be, pretty expensive. So anyway, so that's the deal there. And how are we doing on our little house? Are we in the next phase yet, I hope? Well, we're getting prefab panels. Do we have prefab panels? Oh, wait a second. Yes, we should have some here. Oh, you're just loading slower. Yeah, we got steel and prefabs. Hello, Steve. Welcome. I just saw your chat. I like Colonel Failure. He's, I've watched his videos long before this one, but yeah, he can be, like you can tell he's obviously an intelligent person, but he certainly has a full dose of silliness in his videos, so I mean, in other words, I like to think of it as silliness. Give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm a little more serious. I do actually have a better sense of humor, I think, than comes out in the videos most of the time. I like to laugh, so I do enjoy his videos as well. But I guess, at least as far as YouTube videos, I am a more serious, and maybe even in real life, I'm a more serious person, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the last video, just so you guys know, about which train is faster, seemed to be very popular. I got, a large number of views, more than normal. And the views I don't really count. It's the number of likes do tell me, I think there was just percentage-wise, like more likes on that. And so when you guys do leave likes, I do notice that and I do react to it, right? The dislikes, I don't know how to react to them because it's like, well, did you just not like the tone of my voice, or did I say something to offend you in some other way, or you don't want me to do that kind of video anymore? You'd rather me do more construction-y video versus planning videos. Like, I don't know if it's just like some general dislike, like I don't want you to make a video like that anymore, or if it's some other more particular thing. So definitely try to leave a comment if you have anything negative to say. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm a grown man. I can handle a negative comment. It actually helps me, right? if it's constructive. But yeah, the likes I tend to take as, well, I want to see more of that. I think that's a pretty fair assumption. What specific you liked about it is nice to hear in a comment too. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to make some more of those learning kind of videos, is my long-winded way of saying that. Like, I've already got one kind of planned. I'm not going to tell you guys, just so it's a little bit of a surprise. And I'll probably try to put them up alongside of the KSP, the Kerbal Space Program videos that I've been doing. Just because they're the slowest days of the week anyway, and it's there for you guys to watch in time for the weekend. And I've been recording the Kerbal videos during the weekend, so that gives me a couple extra days during the week to just sort of catch my breath. And I really enjoy this game. I don't mind playing it at all. So it's, those days I have a little bit extra time to make those. So by next Thursday or so, hopefully I'll have another one of those, sort of videos. So if you guys have, by the way, the ideas have come, the last idea came from Radomir. It was just a comment he made about the train construction, and this other idea came from a live stream too, like questions we had in the last few weeks about how things work. And it's one thing to sit there and assume, but when you assume, you often make mistakes. It's a big difference between knowing something for sure and assuming it, right? So looks like we're doing pretty well on our house. I guess we can, let's just keep, I'm going slow just so we see what we're doing here. Unable to go to the pub. Yeah, but they don't seem too upset about not being able to go to the pub. The sports, though, they're not real. We need to get the sports thing going, but let's get the house going so we can drag more people over here. Right, let's just leave this up and try to read some more comments. Yeah, those are growing up, at my age, Benny Hill, and my father used to like Benny Hill a whole lot. And I don't think my father ever got into the Monty Python. Okay, let's, you know what, let's pause it as a matter of fact. Yeah, there's no way to just drag people over here, is there? I thought there was. Or was that, did we have to do that before we built the darn thing? Yeah, why didn't, I thought, okay, so we should have done that before we built these, right? So there's no, oh no, there is 52 people. Okay, well good. All right, so let's take this guy off of all of these. All right, we can play time again. Let's, good, so that should, and then we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna say you are going to go to work here mostly, right? You know what? Why don't you send a few of your people to the firehouse as well? Like 10%. There we go. So now let's go get, we'll just keep stealing people from this town. Of course, I picked a house with nobody in it, right? Let's get 3 houses worth. Right, okay, so locate. You know what, that's good enough. So now what I want to do, just to keep, we can have too much population, and it will raise our costs and our expenses, but I do want to get them working on this one as well. So if nothing else, if we do have babies, because we're kind of full up on these houses, right? So once they get the foundation of this, we'll kind of really micromanage our construction. A lot of times I like to leave this right up over here. And let's go back to faster time. Yeah, good. I'd like to try to explain things fairly well in the KSP. Like, one thing that I'm not is a rocket scientist, but like I've told people before, I actually have a mechanical engineering degree with a concentration in fluid mechanics and thermodynamics. So if anybody was eligible to go work for NASA, it would be me. As a rocket scientist, like, I never actually built rockets, but my college degree was towards becoming a rocket scientist in a sense. I'm not sure if they want further degrees besides just the bachelor's, but anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of things, in other words, I'm not like Scott Manley. I don't understand space and exploration and all that stuff, but I understand the physics and the mathematics behind a lot of what's happening in the game, right? Like, it's, again, I went off and became more of a manufacturing engineer type thing, but when I was doing that stuff. So how is our construction? Good. So good. I'm glad you're enjoying the KSP. I am too. As a matter of fact, I was working on it, like I said, this morning, and I am struggling. I won't get into the details, so you can, again, be a little bit surprised, but after the Tuesday's episode, I realized that we need to, we have remote tech, which is, I don't know if you guys have played the game before, but, and I don't want to get into it too much during this game, but I have problems with our satellite communication. Let's just put it that way. So I've been researching. All right, good. So now we're starting to build this. I have a, to answer your question, Gas Mask, it's a mixed thing. I think my focus on the, like, I don't like one of the things I don't like about Colonel Failure, it's not him at all, but when he's doing like 3 or 4 different games, it's like you get like one a day, and it really is hard to put out like consistently more than that. Like it's just, it gets to be a lot of work, you know, it just too much to try to put out much more than, like, once in a while when you have some extra times or things go easy kind of thing, it's okay to do more than one a day. But at the same time, like, I don't like when it's like every 3 days, 4 days before you get another episode of your favorite. You know, like, I don't know how other people feel about that, but it's just something that has always annoyed me about YouTubers. Like, I like the guys that, like, I like Sips, if you guys ever watch him, because he tends to play like one game for a while. Now, you know, you might get disappointed that he quits and goes off to another one, but you know, he'll put up a bunch of episodes of the one thing. But yes, I play, you know, many different video games. I've been, like, just because I can't get enough, like, you know, I have played a little this week. I was playing a little bit of Oxygen Not Included, which is a fun game. Yes, by the way, I have on my, and it went on sale and I didn't buy it, and I don't know why I didn't buy it. And then I was like kicking myself. I have Hearts of Iron 4 in my collection, in my Steam library, and I was definitely thinking about it, but then I wanted to get some of the upgrades, but then I figured, well, they weren't on sale at that moment. Then they went on sale, but I was like, I don't know, knee deep in whatever, and you know, it's all about money sometimes too in life. You know, and I should have bought them when they were on sale, but I do have Hearts of Iron 4, and I would get into it. I guess the other thing is, you know, to some degree I have to be in the mood to get into it type thing too. So there's nothing wrong with Hearts of Iron 4. I'm not saying there is, just it wasn't something that I was like into playing at that moment. I'm a pretty non-violent gamer. That's the other thing. And I know there's not necessarily, you know, violence in a game like that, but I'm not really, you know, like I'm not a, you know, I'm not a person who's against violence. I'm just not a violent person, if that makes sense. You know, like I don't get into violence that much. Like I never was the biggest American football fan. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie of talking about it, but it's not something I ever enjoyed playing that much, if that makes sense, you know? Well, games like this are pretty high up my list. You know, this would have to be, you know, right up the highest. I mean, I played Minecraft for quite a while. Farming Simulator I played, so I like simulator games. Yeah, I guess the other one, like second to this, would be like, you know, I haven't played it in a little while. It's like flight simulator games. That's why I put up that Frontier Pilot Simulator. I'm going to slow this down now that we're getting close to getting this done. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I like survival games, but I don't like zombies. You know, like, I'm not sure why every, you know, not every game, but Why does every survival game have to be about zombies, you know? Yeah, as I've gotten older, like Steve just said, the conflict is not, like I don't need the conflict. you know. So, but Hearts of Iron is on like the borderline. It's a good strategy game, and even though you're sending armies off and all that kind of stuff, it's not like it's violent in the same way as as whatever whatever game you're playing that's shoot at each other. Like, and I've never gotten into that in particular, like the whole unknown player battlefields and all that kind of stuff. I've just never gotten into those, like where you actually compete against other people to try to kill them, Fortnite and stuff like that. Just I could say that's not my kind of game, you know. All right, how close are we? Did I slow down prematurely? We still got 248 days. Yeah, let's go a little faster. Is there a new Transport Fever? Good. But this, let's put it this way. Like, one of my favorite all-time games was Railroad Tycoon 3. And by the way, yes, I'm old enough. I played Railroad Tycoon 1 and 2, but 3 like kind of really hit the nail on the head, like in the long run. And it's, so like it's a very kind of, 90s version of this, you could say. And it's funny too because we had a IBM PC in our house when I was like 12, which was like 1983. So, I like the guy was saying he played Flight Simulator 4. I'm like, I played the original Flight Simulator, like, number 1. It didn't have a number 1 on it. It was just, completely different. It didn't have like any scenery really, like couple buildings. And it was just like it did have like sort of like a bluer area for water, and then it had like the ground was just like this gray material, or grayish bluish material. So yeah, my PC gaming, and then I found beer and girls in my teen years and didn't play quite so much, but then that those two wore off on me a little bit. Too much beer and too many girls, and I had to calm that stuff down at some point in my life. So I went back to my true love of video games, right? Buddha speaks. I am assuming from your comment. Look what happened to the top of our building there. It's invisible. We got a little graphics thing happening with our building, don't we? Is it broken? No, you just need more bricks and boards. Isn't that funny? Look, you can see right through it. Weird. Let me read some chats, because I think I may have missed some of your chats. Okay, Gasman. I definitely appreciate it. I will, like I said, I don't know what other people feel about the different things. And keep in mind, too, I'm good at this game, right? I might not be as good at others, but we'll definitely give the Hearts and Iron 4 a chance at some point in the future. Some of it is, I think you need a certain amount of confidence in doing this, like in order for it to come across well. Like, as I've done this series, I've grown more and more comfortable with doing it. Like a little bit of success, in a sense, of getting a few more people watching your videos kind of helps breed on its own, its own thing. Like, you kind of know that what you're doing's right. You're not questioning everything you say necessarily, because you've sort of had a certain level of, at least a few people like what you're doing. And so I will branch out as time, and that's to some degree what the KSP videos are about, right? To just not make the channel about this one game, because eventually, we're going to get Revergrad done, and I don't know what I want to do next. Like, I don't want to just be the, workers' resources and Soviet Republic guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I definitely enjoy it. Well, Steve, you're a little bit behind me, right? But, really, well, I guess the first real video game I ever played was Pong. And that was like back in the late 70s. And my neighbors, the Conmies, they like burnt like on this side of their screen, like they used to have like a goal line in the middle of it, and then on this side of their screen was like the goal posts, right? It was like soccer. I don't know if you guys ever saw Pong before, but you hit the little ball back and forth, kind of like, not like soccer, like ping pong or something. And it like burnt lines on their TV. Like when you went to watch another show, there was like this line right down the middle of it and off to the sides here. So like my parents would never buy a video game. Like even when we got Atari, like a few years later, like we had to go play it on the old black and white TV that we had, like from upstairs in the one bedroom. Like we weren't allowed to put the Atari on the color TV. But yeah, Atari was like the first real video games that I ever played. And I don't know if you'd even call them real video games compared to today's. Oh, look, we got that construction done and we're sitting here like talking too much. That is a problem. All right, so we got this done. All right, let's slow. Anyway, we're not going to pause. We're going to. Oh, good. We got 113 people, so let's grab a few more. Where do we? You know what? Or that's enough, isn't it? Yeah, that's enough. So we've got plenty of people over here, and we should be able to breed them. And let's also, we're going to do that road. Now we're going to get this, just so we got everything in town kind of done. We'll get this sports for them. And then they'll have everything in town. Now, another thing I don't know about is equipment for citizens, City Hall. Do you guys think we should build a city hall? I've never built a city hall before. And I just noticed it when I was doing one of the videos. I came in here for some reason to build a firehouse. And I noticed that we have a city hall. How big is it? I mean, it doesn't really, does it do anything for you as far as people go? I mean, we could always kind of, I assume it might need workers, right? Can we level or do we have everybody busy? Now we can use our bulldozer to level. Yeah, let's level behind here a bit. Radomir, what is Tim? I don't know what Tim is. And Gasmas, thank you for the compliment, and I will definitely consider that. You're not bothering me at all. So, like I said, I am a grown man and can handle the positive and negatives of life by this stage of my life. Trust me, it's one of the benefits to getting a little bit older. You learn how to take criticism if you've matured properly as you get older. Yeah, the split. I remember the splitter behind the TV. Well, do you remember just before they ever had cable TV or fiber optic, you used to have to go up and adjust the antenna thing, and you'd get up there and you'd adjust the thing, and then it would it would get fuzzy as soon as you got away from it. So you had to just sort of guess where it would actually be good when you sat back down, for certain channels. Yeah, those were the days, right? Well, I don't know if we can afford the city hall or not. Yeah, I was sort of waiting for an answer, but we can always plop things down as space holders, right? It's not like we're actually. But I don't know what it does. It doesn't really cost that much. Like, I mean, it's not free, and I don't know that I would build it this second anyway. But you know, I've never built one before. What does it do? You know, like I don't even know what it does. I just noticed that it was. And actually, you know how I noticed it? It was at some point. Oh, you know where I noticed it? If you click on a city name. Yeah, look, that's where I noticed it. You need to build a city hall and accounting office to get the statistics about this city area. Which I thought was something that is needed in the game. So I mean these guys are I think they're listening to the team. I think there's some good developers. As I try not to make judgments until a developer's been at it for a while, but it sounds like we could get stats like rather than just getting the stats about the whole map, which only does us so much good. It sounds like we could get stats about about the specific things that are going on here, right? Look, why don't we just plop it down? It's not going to cost us anything to have it there, right? And then we can decide whether we want to build it later on. Oh yeah, we never had a roof antenna, but my neighbors used to. I don't know, like he was a barber. He passed away not too long ago. He was 90 some. But the neighbor, I remember him climbing up on the roof and almost falling off, and his wife, like we lived, the houses were very close to each other, so like you could hear the wife screaming at him, "You're gonna die," and all this stuff, like and all the kids in the neighborhood run out to look at, they want to see Mr. D'Amico die, kind of thing, We didn't want to see him die, but you know what I'm saying, like what's going on out there? She's screaming at the top of her lungs. He's hanging off the ladder or the roof, whatever. No, I don't want to go back to the Pong days either. But yeah, we'll give another game a shot sometime in the near future. How's that sound, Gas Mac, too, by the way? So, if we come here, how do we load up one of those? So if we come here to like say roads, shift 1, no. Control 1, alt 1, shift click. Oh. There you go. Look at that. Did I have to shift click it? No. There we go. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, that's not the right order, is it? Can we just put one in on top of the other one? No. How do we get it out of there? How about a shift? No. Can I other click it and shift? No. How do now I don't know how to get it back out of there. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, for now and until eternity, number 2 is going to be the dirt roads, I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chuck. I'm going to say Chuck eventually, but I know it's Chunk. How's that? Is that okay? Okay, good. We got this building done. Did we get this road done? No, that road's long. All right, so let's get something else worked on. All right, so now that we're building and we're in not so fast mode and we got our people taken care of, right? We're not going to build this necessarily right away. So what is our industry? Now that we have a number of people here, you can all help decide. Again, we have coal and the related stuff to coal. We're not allowed to sell power, so there's no great benefit other than, well, electricity costs us money. As we go to decide, it may or may not influence our decision, but let's take a look at this year and our expenses, which should all be coming, they're all from the Soviet bloc countries. We have spent 54,000 in gravel, 33,000 34,000 concrete, 12,000 in asphalt, 194,000 in steel, 22,000 electrical components. Prefab panels is 6,000, bricks is 20,000, boards is 6,000, and mechanical components is 6,000. So that gives us some idea of what we could save money on. Why is it not listing? Where are we getting our food from? Oh, that was... Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm sorry, guys. That was our list of things we used to build. That was the Western countries. I'm sorry about that. So 1,000 in alcohol, fuels 3,000, food and clothing is a little around 2,000, electronics 1,000. What stands out? Gravel, 19,000 we've spent on gravel to give you an idea. So even though it's, you know, doesn't cost much, it's not. It's one of the bigger expenses we have because it's just used in everything else, right? Every time you say asphalt something or concrete something, you're using gravel. So that's one of the reasons it's a good thing to get going. So again, this isn't the kind of thing you're going to export, but if you cut down on 19,000 in your construction expenses, it doesn't hurt, does it? Steel, 65,000. That's the big one. Mechanical components, boards or bricks were 66,000. We're not going to do mechanical components. Boards 3,000. Yeah, so the biggest thing is fuel as far as like a consumable that we're using a lot of. And then clothes is 2,500. Yes, since last week, Steve, we decided to just get the gravel going. And we're going to hold off on building the railroad tracks until we at least get, you know, like more settled. We did, like, if you watch the very beginning of the episode, I drew a train line all the way over to here and then just added up all of the components and then just sort of did some, you know, rough estimate. It's probably going to cost us around 300,000 to 350,000 for the materials to build a train network. A train line over to here. So I don't want to spend too much, like, and then that we got one, like when I was asking everybody, what do you want to do, trucks or that, they said I had one vote for each. So I broke the tie by saying, well, let's wait until we actually build our first real industry. Well, now I think we're at the point that we should really start building and planning out. We'll have this, you know, we have a few minutes now. There is our rock quarry up here, by the way. And, you know, we should probably, you know, we should probably just vote now and see what we're going to do. And I think it's, you know, it's really, do we get oil going? Do we get agriculture going? Or do we start getting the coal, like, stuff going? If we didn't have the rule for no selling power, I would say, well, look, why don't we get the coal going and then we get a power plant built, right? How much did power cost us this year so far? Because that's a good thing to know, because that's only going to go up and get worse, right? Not too bad yet, 800. But again, that's going to ramp up a lot because we don't have any real industries going, right? That's just what it's costing us, people using power so far. Let me catch up on some chats here. Right click for delete. No. Yeah, that's... How about middle click? No. Now the delete one. What if we try to put a bridge in there instead? No, it just switches back to roads. Control Alt click. Nope. Control Shift click. Nope. How about, can I just click it? No, can't just drag it out of there. Yeah, let's, or how about if I open it up? Can there, maybe there's, yeah, I don't know. And I can't switch it either. I don't care if I can delete them as much as, you know, what if you want to put your jackhammer tool in there? No. Oh, look, look, look. X. There we go. So you select it. That's a little weird, but it works. Like, yeah, that's fine. I can live with that. So let's put them in the right order. So bar number 1 would be the roads, right? Yeah, I like that a lot. Now, what I really wish, yeah, I like that a lot. What I really wish one of these could be is actually, like, I wish we could select this construction office and put it up there, right? Like, yeah, like, because really what I spend my time, I mean, this is fine. I mean, this is a great idea. Don't get me wrong, but it would really be nice if you could put a list of the certain buildings, or maybe even if you could just like plop a vehicle up there. Like if I wanted to keep an eye on this truck for some reason because he's doing something special, it would be cool to be able to pop them in there, But whatever. No, that's great. I like that. 2 thumbs up. What is yeah, that's a good question. The export price of oil. We do need to consider the export price of oil is 53, and we've just guesstimated it's going to cost us $300 to run a truck up there once we're able to. So 53, and then how much can one of those tankers? Well, it might not cost as much if we use a different truck than those regular kind of box trucks. But let's go over to here. Just get an idea how much this thing can cover or carry. Oil tank. 7. This one's the biggest. Yeah, 12. So yeah, we could definitely send a cistern up there, huh? With just oil in it, 54. I mean, it would be down and dirty, right? I mean, nothing. But then if you think about it, one of our bigger expenses otherwise is the fuel. This month alone, which is only, well, most of the month has passed, we've spent $400 in fuel. As far as the other regular stuff that we use, the only other expense, well, food is a bigger expense than the fuel would be. As far as the export prices of the other things involving the food, let's go back. So if we did with the food, pretty down and dirty pretty quickly, we get 137, I'm sorry, for the food, and we would get 285 for alcohol, and we would get 274 for meat. And then the other benefit to the food would be that we could go into building fabric and clothes. Fabric takes crops and chemicals, I think, and then clothes takes something else and fabric. So you're talking about 1,600 for clothes, which would be sort of a secondary. We could maybe build that up. That's the way I did my series to start out with. No reason we have to do that. So yeah, there you go. I hope that answers your question. No, you know what? I never did look at the speed on the rail cars. But here's what I did figure out with my whole, which is the fastest thing. The railways both use the same amount of wood or prefab. So in other words, it's sort of comparable in the price. And now that we did our pricing difference, we could see what the difference between building the wood and the prefabs would be. So let's go over to here, and what is the price? I know that like just based on our estimate, if we use the prefab panels, they were $25. Let's see how much they went up. Yeah, they're $1 more than they were before. It says 23, but it was like 22 before. And the wood is $7. So the prefab panels would cost us $30,000 for the whole trip up there. So at 1/4 of the price, more or less, right? You're talking about, the difference is going to be, it's going to save us about $25,000 to use the wood versus the prefab panels. So in other words, in a project that's, let's just say $325,000 for the materials, you're going to save $20,000 to get the wood tracks going. Like, I don't personally think it's worth. I'd rather have the better rails at that point. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks about that statement. Oh, by the way, some of that, it's a little off because the bridge that we would have to build would be, oops, spun around too far. The bridge is actually very expensive in this whole endeavor. Like, getting that bridge built would be quite the feat. Like, that's worth a lot of miles of track. It uses a lot of steel to build that bridge, and you don't have choices like you do with these bridges. Like, you can only build the one kind of rail bridge. I definitely, I remember when Chernobyl happened, and I also have, you know, like Scott Manley made a video about why it happened. You know, I like understanding why that and 3 Mile Island happened. So yes, I'm very more or less familiar, I guess you could say, with 3 Mile Island. Okay, good. Now we have this other construction done. So we're running out of time to decide here, guys. I kind of hear a vote for the aggro. That's sort of the way my vote goes. I don't want to, you know, like I said, this is a socialist democracy, and I'll decide if nobody else wants to. But yeah, I tend to want to lean towards that because it'll cut down on more expenses. We can export the food, and it'll be profitable to do so. We can export the other things, you know. Now, on the other side, you know, we want to asphalt a lot of roads. Like, how much would a chemical, like, how expensive is it to actually get that refinery going? And when we do that, we can do that without, yeah, we just can't make a chemical plant. So, I mean, the refinery's 301 tons of steel. And I know we don't need that to just send the oil out the door. And again, we could do both. I just think that, yeah, if I had to vote, I'd say let's get a couple, not a big, huge thing. Just we'll get a farm going. How much does a farm cost? They moved my darn buttons around. There we go. I think that was actually in the same spot. So agro farm needs 76 tons of steel. You definitely tend to want a grain storage, I think. And then the food factory, 65. So this is like, it's called 100 there, and then another 176. Now we don't need a grocery store. If we want to go with the distillery, now we're up to, and that needs quite a few bricks, which is another thing. We can get the coal thing going first too, right? And get the bricks made and not have to pay for them anymore, and start building more like brick houses, which will save us some bucks as time goes on. But this is going to be like this will be up to like 200,000. And then if we want to go like with the slaughterhouse, we're talking another, not 200,000, 200 tons of steel plus another. Yeah, so we're probably actually talking, you know, the refinery is going to be more expensive because we're going to have to build, those pipes aren't cheap, right? Where we can tend to do the agriculture a little bit more cheaply. I don't think we're going to do both of those and build the rail in the beginning, right? So if we choose the rail, then we're going to have to pick one or the other. Or we could go for both of those and probably do it, but we're not going to get the rail built quickly. And if we don't get the rail built too quickly, I want to keep an eye on the price of steel here. I just saw another chat pop up. Yeah, so we're still at $397 on buying steel. So we're still doing pretty well on that. Hey, Pietro. Sorry, I didn't see your chat for a few seconds there. Welcome. I'm glad you could make it this week. Yeah, so, I mean, a real loose, now I see your chat, Steve. You know, I think that you're probably talking around 400,000 to set up food, cattle, distillery, and the farms. I bet you're in the 400,000 to build it, where I think you're probably at least in the 400,000 to 500,000 to build the oil, the tanks, the refinery, maybe a little less than that because the steel price hasn't gone up that much. So maybe I'm overestimating. We say 300,000 for the agro and 400,000 for the refinery. There's a little bit less stuff than the food and all. Like if you know, it's a lot to put together with the farms if you want to do all three of the things that need the crops. You know, agro has that benefit of cutting down on the expenses, and I don't think it's worth doing the oil refinery just to get the oil. Well, then we don't have to do the oil refinery, right? It wouldn't. The other side of the oil is, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, if we don't go with the oil refinery, an oil rig is really cheap and a tank is really cheap, right? And then we would just need the loading and unloading. However, you know, we still don't have like we can't actually drive up this road and get all the way there without a gas station, which means we do need to start paving here pretty shortly, right? So we probably should talk about another construction office, to be honest, that we set up for paving. Well, we would have to, if we want to run electricity, we would have to pave over to there, and I have no problem with that. I think we should leave this room right here for like the oil refinery and some more houses that are close to our center city, right? So we could put the oil refinery somewhere over here and stay out of our oil field a little bit. We can definitely move into this town, but we would have to build a whole new, you know, like infrastructure for them, which is a little bit of a daunting task because based on how big this is. Now, we could possibly just put the farms over here, but this is a little bit hilly, isn't it? Yeah, see, it's not really that flat over here, other than right where kind of the city is, but that's not overly flat. You know, we could get enough to just get going. We don't need like let's just take a look at if we were going to do the crops. Like this is the medium field. Like, you know, if you look at this area over here, we could get enough of these to make it worth it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the medium fields. If we went with the bigger fields, that's another thing we could do. One of those. Is it better to do a bunch of big fields or little fields? You know. Yeah, where else would we... Is there another... This is actually where we built the farm in the last area. Yeah, the only problem, Pietro, with the oil tanks is we can't get them up there right now anyway. Like, no matter what we do. So there's not going to be a big benefit to building that immediately. In other words, because we need to, in order to pave and build anything, or actually in order to build electricity, we can build anything else we want, wherever we want on the whole map. But we can't run electricity to it unless we've paved to it. So we're going to have to pave up to here before we can get, you know, like a gas station close enough to be able to export oil. So the problem is, unless we build the refinery and everything involved with this, we're not going to see any actual benefit until we get the roads paved. Right? Which we can start doing. I mean, we probably should start doing either event. If we're not going to build the railroad tracks, I don't really want to spend the money on that because, again, we're, you know, why do we pause? Yeah, let's turn off this wireframe too. Yeah, we could pave over to here and start, you know, we would just have to, so what you're saying is just move our town basically, right? So what we'd have to do is pave over to here somewhere, and then we could put electricity in, and then we could start an industry over here. So we really shouldn't have probably built all of this, right? Like, because now we're going to have to build all of this over there again, which is going to cost us quite a bit of our money to go over there. But yeah, we could truck things over to here and then put them on a train that could take them the rest of the way, right? And that would, you're right, that would save on the bridge. That might be a better solution as far as being able to get it going quicker. You know, it certainly would cut down on some of the expense if we didn't. Well, yeah, so either way, I think what we need to do is get, yeah, what do you guys think of that idea? We would actually not bring the railroad over here. Again, I don't think we're going to mess with this town as long as we don't build like a store, or as long as we don't build stores in this area, or I imagine sports complexes or whatever. I don't think we're going to mess with the people. And I have been like taking people out of here as needed too. Just, you know, we could just move everybody out into other houses if we had to if we're afraid of them leaving. Same thing with like these guys down here. But that, yeah, that's a pretty good idea, Steve, is to maybe just start over here with the rail, and then that way we're not. Yeah, I kind of like that as a not necessarily a compromise, but it would cut down on the cost a good amount, because that bridge would be very, very expensive. But it see, it also opens up a whole nother thing we'd have to set up over here to get people to work the industries, unless we just trucked stuff over there, which would be, you know, doable. I think that would be better to truck stuff if we're going to do that than worry about, what do you call it? Worry about like rebuilding all of this, or, you know, even just the town part of this over there to get people there. Yeah, the train, what might bankrupt us though, Pietro. I mean, I know you're excited for the rail, but it may be our downfall, because it's going to cost us like, well, that cut down on the expense a lot. Let me see. Let me get an idea. What was that bridge? Yeah, the bridge was like near half of the steel. So you're talking about a lot less steel. You'd still have those other expenses. But yeah, it probably brings the price of the rail down to like 200,000. So it would definitely make it at least somewhat cheaper to get the rail going. But it could, that 200,000 may be the reason we don't make it, right? You know, like, so that's why I wanted to hold off on any of it until we actually built our industry, one way or the other. Because again, we don't need to do anything until we actually have an industry built. But now we're kind of done here almost. You know, we are still constructing. We are constructing this, right? Yeah. Okay. No workers. Okay. Might just be bad timing on my part. Anyway, I want to make sure that. So once we get these done, I want to start building our industry. And then by the time we are building our industry, maybe we'll get another construction office going that we can get. What do you call it? Like some, we'll just sort of set it up as a paving construction office that can start paving down this way. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Hopefully it's the right one, but we still haven't decided on the more important thing, which is oil or agriculture. And I'm thinking that, here's the thing. We can plop farms wherever we want, right? Why don't we build the agricultural buildings right here? Like close to where we already have people. So we'll have just whatever buildings we want, as far as, you know, like we'll have a food factory, we'll have a distillery, and we'll have a meat packing plant. And we'll try to stay out of our flat land a little bit. So I'll try to keep them close to town where people can walk to them. We can even put some more houses back over here, right? So I'm thinking right around where our power lines are there. And then we could just plop a couple farms, or, like a couple farm fields, whatever will fit in here kind of easy. And then the farm doesn't really need people, right? So we can set a farm up and we'll just farm this area as best we can. And then, like I said, we could plop another little farm down here down the road if we wanted, because you don't need people at the farms. How does that sound? Does that sound reasonable? If we did the agriculture, if we do the oil, the only thing I don't like about the oil is it has no real benefit for us other than to export it. And then it would also be more of a pain to get, well, I don't know. I guess it's going to be a pain to get everything over there compared to the train pulling right up to it, We can always build it in such a way that we could extend the train over to here one day, right? We just need to get another depot over there. But that wouldn't be too bad a truck trip. But the thing I like about the agriculture is it cuts down on our expenses. And that's, as we get more and more people that we're paying for, that's going to become more and more of an issue. And, while the oil is nice, I don't know if it's going to cut down on as many of our expenses as the food will. No, the cheap one is really not that much cheaper, just so you know. I'm going to build the regular ones. The difference in the price is going to be like the difference in the prefab costs versus the wood cost. And we already talked about it for it's going to be a difference of like $14,000 to build the better middle track or the wood track. So we're going to build the better track for 14 grand worth of materials more. Like, in other words, you don't use that many of them. So the difference in the price between the wood and the prefab panels is like $24 versus $7. So, the fact is just not, it's like $10,000 for the wood, or it's like $20,000 for the prefabs. It's just not much of a savings difference, and so it's not worth. Why build? I don't know why you would ever build the wood ones. In other words, like it's not enough of a difference to matter. The other thing to say is that we could build all the prefab panels, right? We do have the coal that we need to make that a fairly profitable, cheap thing to do. Okay, so we're gonna do that, by the way, and we'll get designing on it in a minute. But I also first I want to start building our industry, because there's no point in, I just want to make sure that wherever we lay something out is where we're going to be. Okay. So let's see. Let me go back, take a second here, and I'm going to go back and see if there's any votes for what we're actually going to do for our industry. And if not, I'll decide. It's not a big deal. Okay, I only kind of see Steve's vote for build the farm across the river. Chuck's saying aggro. Yeah, so it sounds like more people. Yeah, Shunter is saying farms. I'm leaning towards farms. On this one, I get a vote too, right? Pietro's voting for oil rigs. Anybody else? Going once? Do you guys ever go to an American auction? Or I don't know if I guess they have auctions in Europe, I'm sure. Going once? Going twice? I'll give you guys a couple more seconds. It's not that big a hurry. And by the way, Pietro, we will get the oil going. It's just a matter of which one we do first. And that means, oil is going to be second, unless we decide to go for the coal second, right? Which we can do too. We can do it for the coal first, just so you guys know. But yeah, alcohol is farms, and yes, I agree. Well, see, with the farms, we get alcohol, we get beef, and we get food. And then we also get another step closer, and really, for all practical purposes, we get fabric and clothing as well, which really, to me, is far more practical. Not again, not that the oil is bad. It's not a matter of one being bad. I just think it's going to cut down on our expenses. And our biggest expense so far, let's take one last look. Let's see what it was. Let's just do last month. Now that we have a few more people in there, right? Western Bloc, imports. Of the normal things we buy, clothes and food were the most expensive. 800 for clothes, 540 for clothes, 800 for food, and like 300 and some for meat. Alcohol was 120, but alcohol's pretty, you get a good buck when you make alcohol for exporting it. Yeah, so other than that, 11,000 in steel and 7,000 in gravel. So again, gravel's, by the way, I'm dragging my feet on the paving a little bit because, oh look, we got this guy. So we can start buying the vehicles for that, right? We can get probably 3 dump trucks, I would think, and whatever the best excavator we can get is. And then we don't have a gas station near there, which is kind of, yeah, that's kind of ugly. We can talk about putting another gas station up here, I think. Just so that these guys have some place to stop and they don't have to go, especially the excavator itself, right? Yeah, so I don't think it's going to hurt to get the excavator. Do we want to put a gas station up here? I think I do. Let's go. Yeah, let's go get the gas station. Oh, and then I was playing. Yeah, you know what? Do we want to go a little bit lower, right? Let's make that a little smaller. I was playing on the map that had the. Is that really leveling it? It doesn't look like it's leveling. Oh, I see. We need, you know what we need? Yeah, it's such a steep hill that I kind of need to use this tool, actually. Yeah, there you go. Take me to that level point right there. Yeah, I just want to get a gas station where that guy doesn't have to drive all the way down. Now it's may or may not be worth it, but yeah, let's have him working on that road at least. And then let's go to our depot. And I did interrupt my own thought, didn't I? And let's purchase 3 dump trucks. And let's set up the course of one of them, and then we can copy it to the other one. So you're going to go from here. Oh, we can't do that yet. All right, well, we jumped the gun a little bit. Let's shrink the 3 dump trucks, and we'll come back to that in a minute. There you go. All right, so we got a gas station. We got all that in line. So, yeah, I was dragging my feet a little bit because, every time we go to pave, let's stop paying for that. Oh, you know what we don't have? We don't have a conveyor. And I don't... Oh, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Well, you know what? We have a solution for that, don't we? Can we just sneak by with just the one? No, of course not. I'm trying to be a little too chintzy. Sometimes you can actually build things back past there once you... Like it... what's wrong? Oh, you know what? It might not have been the road being the problem. Gosh darn it. Might be my little footpath here. Let's see, can we get the road through now? No, we couldn't. I think it was both. All right, so we can't really get that footpath the way I wanted it, can we? Well, let's see. Let's work on the road first. Can we get the road? No, don't go there. We don't really need this road 100%, do we? You know what? Just get rid of the road and let's just see. But I do want the footpath to get the people bust up here. Yeah, can you get through here? No, it's going to be. But I could probably lower that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so let's let me. Oh, I need a free excavator. Really? Let's use the level tool then. This level tool. Go down. All right, now if we put the conveyor back up. Yeah. Can I come from here? Not quite, but a little bit goofy, but we'll take it, right? There we go. We should probably actually assign those jobs, huh? All right, now that we're almost... Okay, so we have to build it from that side. That's a bit of a pain. All right, well, anyway, conveyor, commit. Nope, not build, commit. And you guys need to start working on the conveyor. So yeah, we'll drag our feet a little bit on the getting the paving going so that we can use this gravel. Good. And then chunk, we will get there. We will start paving. So let's also, yeah, I guess we, you know, the closer these guys are to this, the better. And they should probably be, see, the paving crew's not going to have anything but just the paving equipment. And if we have little short things to pave, we'll assign this guy to it so he can bring people there, right? Why don't we see about, I don't think there's any reason not to put it like right over here, which is pretty much close enough. Will you fit right back in there? Let's do a little more leveling. There we go. So now let's get you working on that. Footpath at least. Yep, we got this one done. So let's get our gas station up there going. Just because that'll... might be a little bit of a waste. But I really don't want the... you know, these quarry guys going all the way down here. Especially that excavator. It's going to have to come all the way down here for fuel. All right, so we got this conveyor worked on. We have this quarry, this path worked on. Yep, and then we'll start paving, and we might as well start laying out some buildings while we're waiting for that stuff to get done, right? So this is our thing, and we could put a few more houses. So I'd like to leave. Let's leave the area. Well, let's see. Let's take our measuring tool, also known as the substation. Yeah, so like, so the furthest away we'd want a house is probably like here, so they could still get the stuff, which is, here, let's close, well, we can't close that, can we? Let's turn our screen. Yeah, like if this will attach to them, then most likely they'll walk to it, right? So right like here. We'll just put a little road there to mark where we wouldn't want, like, you know, we'd put houses, we would put them in this area. And then let's jump back to here. Food and crop related. So we would want a food factory. And see, the darn power lines are... Well, you know what? If people are right here, they would definitely walk this far, right? So let's go and level off an area like over here. And some of this stuff, yeah, let's just... I think, you know, we'll be good with houses all in this area. So let's level off this somewhat, at least. Let's put on our wireframe. Now, did my chat stop working, or are you guys just being quiet? I'm not sure. Yeah, chat rate 0. I think it's... Everything seems to be working over there. Let me hit F5. Nope, that's not F5. There we go. So if it was dead on you guys, I'm sorry. All right, so this is actually pretty level, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to mess with it too much. So you know what, the food... Yeah, I don't want to put too many nodes on that main road. Yeah, just quiet. Okay, good. That's fine. No problem. It just worried me that the thing wasn't working. So if we put a food factory here... I'm thinking we would have enough room. Yeah, you know what? Could we put... No, we can't. You know, it'd be nice... Well, I guess the button's right there. No, don't attach to that. All right, so that the food factory will have its own... like parking spaces. Again, we don't have to build the parking spaces unless we want to. Now, should the food factory have a silo attached to it? Yes, the town hall is right here, which we haven't actually built, but I did sort of place down just as a placeholder. We can always delete it. Sort of a reminder that it's there. I've never used it before ever, so I'll be curious to see what it actually does. So what I'm thinking of is, yeah, maybe now that we have this road over here, you know, we could have this, let's just turn it a little bit. One of my favorite things that they did and that were fixed. There we go. So whether we build the, you know, we don't have to build this silo, but in the long run, if we do get, you know, a bunch of crops coming in, that'll be good. And then the other one, let's see, where's the distillery? What does it look like? Yeah, so see, that could go, you know, that could go like right here, right? And I don't know if sharing these things sometimes is not the greatest as far as like that silo goes. Right? And then if we did that, do we need... Yeah, I don't know if we need parking for that. But you know what? We can always... Well, you know what? It's only got... Well, no, the road connection comes out this way. So let's... You know, I hate finding out that I need parking later on. I don't know. Can we go that short? No. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Can we go that short? Yes. All right, so that would attach to that. So each of these will have plenty of parking spaces, right? So our distillery, food factory. And meat. Now meat is kind of interesting. I think we should, when you do the meat, I really haven't set this up properly. Yeah, meat storage is good. Slaughterhouse, livestock hall. That's the new thing they added, right? So here's a livestock farm. What does this look like? So this has a lot of, so this is where the livestock would come in and or go out, right? You know what, before we do that, let's make sure this guy, yeah, I was afraid of that. I'm going to keep this getting built. And let's get our other construction office going. All right, so then we have, yep, gas station going in, which isn't 100% necessary, but our conveyor's built, so we should be able to fire this up if we could get some more people here. And we only have the little tiny itty bitty bus. Now, can we assign people even to this? No, that's exactly why we got this going in. All right, so we'll wait to fire that up until we get this built, which should be pretty quick after the, you know, it shouldn't take too long. Then we probably need to talk about a little bit bigger bus going up there. Yeah, and we need to get another bus to, no, we don't need people here, do we? Yeah, see, that's another benefit to this quarry. We don't really need that many people. All right, so there goes our trucks. All right, so let's think about this. You know, I'm picturing, here was the problem with this setup, is that you really don't get enough cattle for a slaughterhouse, right? Like, in other words, I'm not sure how many, but if we look at, you know, that's the distillery, the slaughterhouse can do 250 tons of livestock per day, I'm assuming, and the livestock farm produces 5. So, you know, now this thing can do a massive amount of meat too. 125 tons of meat is way more than we need, but the idea that we would want to scale it up potentially means, you know, trying to leave it where we could put a number of these livestock farms somehow attached to, or at least being used, you know, by the same slaughterhouse. And now what does this storage look like? Okay, I see why they did that. So what we would want to do is, yeah, you know what, why don't we could truck stuff. Why don't we plan on trucking stuff to the slaughterhouse? Because I don't think it's really going to be that much, right? Because if we're just producing 5 tons per day, it's like a truck of, like, it's just not that much. We can get those trucked pretty close by, right? Especially if we're letting them build up into this thing. So here's what I'm thinking. We somehow connect. Yeah, the other one would then go this way. And then you'd want another one like that. Yeah, so let's turn this one and put them where he can be the top of this road, right? And that would be, no. I really don't want them that far over. I don't want to use up all my flat land, right? I need a free excavator. Okay, well, where is our excavator? He's probably building something. Do we have the bulldozer in there? Yeah, I could probably level a little bit. Yeah, I don't disagree, Steve, that we could do what you're saying there. Let's just level this a little bit. I just want to get one of them in there for now, right? Yeah, so we'll build this guy up a bit. Like, we don't need all of these that I'm about to do, but you guys know me by now, I think. It's, yeah, I'm going to leave them a little bit further this way. All right, and I want to go a little further that way. Can we get a road? Yeah, one way or the other, I think I can get a road in between these, I hope. Yeah, I'm pretty confident I can. So now that we have that, what I would think of is, right, I left it a little bit away from the power line so that we could put this guy, say, here. Oh, really? Okay, well, I won't stop hitting the button. All right, so let's see. Is that a little happier now? Not slaughterhouse. Right, so now the cattle would come into here via... But then we could also... Here, let's get the other ones. See, I could also put another one... Well, we might have to move that power line. See, like here, I bet. I might have to do some fancier leveling. And then we could probably put another one like here to get it into that one. And then maybe here. I might have put it a little bit too close. Yeah, I wish that power line wasn't there, but yeah, if I leveled that out a little bit, I bet you we could get it in there. But I can't build it because of that power line. But even if we just had like one more, right? We could have 3 of them without too many issues, right? I don't know if it would fit that way, but you get the idea. We're only going to build one for now anyhow. Just because, you know, that's... really? Oh, I missed. All right, so there we go. So now we have... Yep, livestock farm. Now, livestock farm needs crops. How much does it hold? 80 tons at its warehouse. So that's... Yeah, we could talk about... Yeah, grain storage... Yeah, we're really wanting to move those power lines. But let's see how everything goes. I think we're going to just plan on taking the crops at this point from here and or just having trucks bring them straight over, right? We're just not jamming this up so much like I did the last time that we couldn't put more in there. And then I would say, now the problem is, how many, do we need people? Probably not there, but we need people here, right? So I'm trying to keep everything that we need people for close. So I don't really want to put the slaughterhouse right there. Like I'd rather keep it, like busing the people is a bigger issue to me than moving the cattle by truck, right? So I'd rather keep where we're going to have people closer this way. Yeah, so let's spin this guy over here. Now, the other thing we could do is plan on like another... If we put this guy here, right? Let's zoom in so you guys can maybe see. What we could do, and I don't want to get too close in there, is we could have like another one of these livestock things. Would that fit right over here? Probably. Right, so we could truck the livestock into there from like, you know, just have a road where they come back and forth. And then we could have our meat storage. Like here. And then, oh, no, you know what? I want a parking thing on this. Maybe not right away, but... Where is that? Yes, be far enough away to get out of that road there. Just so we can build it if nothing else. And then, again, if nothing else, future-proofing means we put parking spaces on that. Now the slaughterhouse, nobody's going into the slaughterhouse. They're going to come over here, get their meat. Parking here would certainly make sense too, wouldn't it? Really? I don't know if it's going to make that turn. Let's see. Yep. So again, we don't necessarily have to have those parking places, but it doesn't hurt. Yeah, so that's attached to that. So we're going to ship corn in here. We'll have the cattle come out here. It'll be a little bit awkward. We'll drive back. Yeah, this is just a storage, so we don't need any people in any of this. We just need to get a few people to here. They'll be closer to the houses that we'll build here. We can also put a bus stop in somewhere over here if we really want. But I don't even think we need to if we were to build some houses, in this area. How does that sound? Let's see, how is our construction guy doing? Let me catch up on some chats. I've been totally. So yeah, thank you for the calm voice thing. As far as audiobooks go, I don't know if somebody would pay me to do an audiobook. I would do an audiobook. I'm not sure if I want to start my own audiobook business, in other words, but I would certainly take a paycheck for reading a book. I'd like to read. You're still thinking about oil. Well, we're not giving up on oil, Pietro. We're just gonna, you know, one step at a time. We'll do the aggro, we'll get all that going, and then believe me, by the time that aggro is half built, aggro, it sounds like something you do for a mob, right? The aggro, farming area that we're getting over here, by the time that's half built, we'll have laid out our oil plants as well. Who knows? They might even get built faster, right? Now let's close this. Let's turn off the wireframe just for a second while I read more chats. There you go, Chunk. Yep, I didn't read your chat, but there you go. So we have the silo here. And what I would like to do is I'll think about like a silo. I don't want to move these power lines right this minute, but like you probably saw, I'm thinking of another agro or meat packing plant over here. And then we would try to see if we couldn't feed it with silos. So we can get 4 of these meat things as we ramp up. I think in this area, and then have like 2 silos feeding each of them. But let's say I'm not planning on that many farm fields, and we'll just see how things balance out to start out. How's that sound? I'm not sure Buddha Speaks doesn't produce a farm 5 cattle. Well, no, this produces cattle. This I guess is a livestock farm. So yes, it produces 5. So we're going to go with 4. But the only other thing to say is that it's a lot of meat. Like if you actually look at our economy, it's not a lot of meat's not like the greatest thing to export because it does take so much corn. But at the same time, like if we looked at last month's food, we used like one meat. Right, we used like 5 food and 1 meat, so it's not, and that's in a whole month. So it's not like we're going to get a ton of it, but we don't need a ton if it's just sort of like a secondary business kind of thing. It's what is the meat worth? Is it worth actually exporting the meat? Yeah, well, close to 278 rubles. So that's nothing to sneeze at, right? I mean, it certainly would be worth exporting our excess meat. Yeah, McDonald's, that would be a good way to increase the food. But then again, it would be cool if you could, some games have, treat your people better or worse. Like right now, everybody just gets food, a loaf of bread, and, I'm assuming it's vodka. And they get, what I'm saying? Like they just get their daily allotment from the store, the Soviet store here, like their loaf of bread, their blue jeans and a shirt, and it looks like they get a battery, Or is that a cassette tape? Their electronic player. I guess that's a cassette tape player, isn't it? And then they get their slab of beef. But yeah, it would be cool if you could, choose the food and get them. They would become happier if they got McDonald's for example. Okay, here we go. So we got. Yeah, I forgot to turn that down. When you're purchasing, there's no reason to purchase anything but the minimum, right? Especially for up there. Now, by the way, that's not true with the train construction offices. I did learn that lesson as well. That was, if you're purchasing stuff, they'll leave, they instantly fill up. So if there's only 2 tons of gravel there, they just go out with 2 tons of gravel. So, it's sort of a problem with the purchasing for the trains. But yet it takes time to fill the thing back up. You'll see when you auto purchase a lot of stuff, it takes, seconds to fill it back up. It's not instant. Hello, Robert. Welcome. I'm just catching on catching up on some chats. Pietro definitely wants us to do oil, and we will. And just reading through. Well, yeah. Yeah, well, right now, we just got our other construction office going. So, did we get our gravel? You know what? We need to assign. Once we get gravel going, we'll fill those guys up with trucks. There we go. We'll get these 2 things, and that should let us assign people to go work in the gravel processing, and then we'll get those trucks going. That should be a few minutes. Yep, he's from the Italian mountains of Oklahoma. Him and I have talked before about it. It's a Rever radio. Very good. Fox, you've missed. We decided to start off planning out our agro industry, and I've got these things plopped down. Other than that, not a whole lot. The game doesn't move too fast. Especially, I'm trying to keep it in normal play mode while I'm focused, and I'm just catching up on chats now. No power in the gas station. Really? Oh, do we need power up here too? Well, probably. All right. Where is our transformer? We don't have roads to our transformer, which is not real good in the event of a fire, is it? All right, let's get some dirt. Even though we build it with rubles or dollars or whatever, we still should get a road to it. For now, let's just bring this road sort of straight looking, right? Because we may expand it out, make it look a little nice. And that's probably too tight a turn. Yeah. Getting good at the game when it comes to knowing how much you can get away with a turn, right? All right, there we go. So at least now we can also construct some stuff. So where is our power? Where is our power station now? It goes from here to there. Yeah, so I guess we got to get one. Why don't we get it? Yeah, how are we going to run the power up there? We're going to run it around this side. So yeah, this is fine. Can we... You know what, don't build, because I want to just build a little dirt path. There you go. Well, that made that intersection look nicer. All right, so now we need to get... I don't think we need the big power lines. Let's just go for the... for the not so big ones. You know what? We're gonna cut right across this guy's front door. Can we cut over there? No, not quite. There we go. Yeah, having a gas station with no power is worse than having no gas station. All right, thank you, Steve. That was a good catch. And I'm not sure what the Quarry does with no power. I think they will run with no power, actually. Yeah, I like to forget about the fire thing in general when it comes to stuff. I think we got everything. No, look, we don't have fire roads here either. Did you guys catch the episode where I broke or was that when I was muted? No. I broke the road. And then, yeah, let's bring this road. Where is our, yeah, let's just bring this road out straight. You really won't go through there straight? You bugger. All right, we'll be a little turned with our dirt road. But I just momentarily was building something and the literally, it was like building this, I was building something here, so I broke the road when I was doing it, putting in new rail lines, and then this caught on fire right when I was building that. I'm sitting here like this building away, and the darn thing's burning my buttocks because I was standing on top of it, type thing. Of all the buildings on the entire map, what do we have here? What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Little graphics glitch happening. Okay, well, let's get back to designing so we can get to Pietro's oil before he starts really yelling. There we go. Good. We got a whole Congo line of trucks going up there. What else are you working on? Now, we'll let you get that power going up there. And then we have these. That's right. You're doing these. Yeah. Oh, okay. This one's, I want to take this guy off of auto search. Yeah, this is, I like the fact that you can open these things, but it is a bit annoying that they all open when you get rid of your auto search. Oh, we closed one of our dumpers. But now we can get these guys. Yeah, this guy already has the one thing. So there you go. So load, well, let's load gravel ore. Or quarried stone, I'm sorry. And then unload it. And yeah, I think you should wait at both places. And let's go ahead and copy. Right, and start, because they'll be waiting, so they shouldn't waste much fuel. And plus, hopefully that gas station will be done in a minute. And we will have a quarry business going as soon as we can get some people in there. And now I want you to send, let's see, how many people do we need here? 15. So each of these could use a maximum of 5. So that would be, a total of 25. So 4%. How low can we go with these guys? Right? Now let's It doesn't seem right. There you go. So the vast majority of people will send up there. Now the problem is we only have that little tiny bus. All right. Where is the little tiny bus? How many does he hold? Oops. He holds 7. So I think we should get ourselves a couple buses. You know, for a route that's looping, it doesn't really matter, but we probably want to get one that has about 25 people, right? If let's click on bus. Of course, do we have a German bus or something? Oh, look, a little car for passengers. Yeah, no. All right, so we kind of want the smallest. Not the smallest. This one holds 52. Like, in other words, the speed doesn't matter overly much. Yeah, this one holds 40. So let's get 2 more of those. And that other guy can, for now, we'll try to remember that he's running back and forth. But we'll give those 2 guys the same route. Right? Start. Oops, missed start. All right, so hopefully we'll get a bunch more people, and the vast majority of them will come up to here. That's probably, yeah, you know what we can do? Let's come here and come here. You're a construction bus. You're the other one. Let's say that, yeah, you know what? You're only going to get. And you know what? We really didn't need to send both of those buses right away. We should have paused one, right? Yeah, you go back to the depot for a minute. And you're going to take, yeah, 60% of 40 is going to be in the right ballpark, like 24, 25, right? So let's set this guy to 60% as well. Now, is this guy off and away? Oops, getting the wrong keys. You know, let's let him get a little bit more of a head start, and then we'll start designing some farms. Well, no, you know what? It's 5 o'clock. Well, this time does fly. I can tell I'm having fun because, honestly, you know, if I didn't start getting hungry, which is exactly what just about happened there, I would have, you know, it's like I turn around and it's like it's over almost. You know, I look up, it's like 4 o'clock already. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here, you know, pretty shortly. When we come back next time, we'll finish doing our farms. We'll have really established, you know, our quarry build up. We'll certainly go at least until we've got quarry, we've got stone in there. You know what? We're not in that much of a hurry to leave. Let's assign this guy some things, right? So you're going to get well, you don't really even need people, but you're going to get your people from there. You'll get your gravel from here, your asphalt, concrete, steel, and all that stuff comes from here. Though I don't think you're going to need much of that. And for now, I don't think you're going to ever need mechanical components. And then let's just purchase, this guy should be like dumper heavy, right? Because he's going to mostly just be doing paving asphalt roads. So let's say 4 dumpers. So it's kind of, you know, might as well buy the vehicles while they're cheaper, right? Because they only go up in cost. We're going to get him a roller, 2 open hauls, so he can always have an open haul for the bulldozer and or the roller and or the paver. Right? Sound reasonable? We could probably get him an excavator as well, couldn't we? Let's just see. We'll right now I'm just having him plan on doing the asphalt roads, but we will get into cases where we want to cut across here, say, like. All right, good. So we can get him now that we've got gravel going. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to be that. I mean, we probably don't want to pave in town anyway, right? Just because we don't want to mess people up. So let's assign. Oh, look, we can use our little fast button there, huh? What happened? Oops, at the end of the road. Okay. Well, let's. Oh, really? You're that? Okay. I was hoping to like stretch you all the way out. So we'll plan on. Yeah, and I did build a bridge as an experiment through a town. Now the worst part about this is that it's going to be like 62. Yeah. And this is where I wish, like, people ask me, first of all, I enjoy the micromanaging of signing the jobs, but, you know, I want this guy to just work on asphalt roads, right? Like, I wish you could filter what they would auto search better. Well, you know what? We could do roads, right? But then they would, yeah, you know what? We can do roads. Let's see if we can't. Come on, buddy. Let's just see. I'm willing to try it during the live stream. I don't normally do it. But then what I also want to do, auto search roads. And then we just canceled them all. But let's see. Can we suspend that, right? So he won't pick this one, which is road 7. Road 6. Yeah, he didn't pick road 6. Now, where are all these other roads that he's... Oh, yeah. Oh, does he want to do this too? No. Okay. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's suspend that. Suspend this. Yeah, see, I tend to leave little... Yeah, no, suspend... Oh, you know what? We do want to do that because we... Yeah, this one's fine to do. Where's this one? Oh, no, we don't want you to build that one yet. And how about 2? Yeah, because that's the other fire road. It's fine. And where are you? Yep, this is the one we actually want them to work on. Okay, good. So that wasn't so bad. So now I'll just have to be a little careful when it comes to assigning things. But that's fine. I'm glad actually I did that because I would have forgot that this wasn't a dirt road, right? Same thing with this. Like, they can't actually get onto the fancy roads. But then, you know what? I signed this work. Oh, you know what? He probably built it from up this end. So do we have... No power. How are you doing on the whole power thing, buddy? All right, you got all your stuff up there, and I see a busload of people. Yeah, so this is why a gas station with nobody in it, or no power, is worse than... Because if he didn't have a gas station, he probably would have just sat up there doing stuff. But now they're sitting in here waiting. Let me pause it. Well, let's get this power built. We got this guy paving roads, so that's kind of a, you know, sort of a big step forward. Yep. Well, it'll take quite a while to pave over to there, but then we can... Yeah, I'm not going to worry about upgrading the bridge or anything. Can you even upgrade a bridge? No. No. I was just wondering if you could... No, so we don't need to upgrade the bridge to get... Like, this doesn't need to be a paved road. Let's put it that way. Can we even build a bridge like that? Oh, yeah, wooden bridge, 30 kilometers an hour. Huh. Well... It'll be like Death Road Truckers, right? Did you ever see sometimes when they like have to go over those rickety bridges on the Andes or whatever shows they go to, like South America they were in? All right, well, anyway. So I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's pause it because it's after 5 o'clock and we'll have a little wrap-up discussion. And here, let's save it while you guys are here. So I like to, what have I been calling this one? Got the caps lock on. LS after. When is this? This is like, you know, redo is what I was calling it. And this is like the second one, right? Live stream after redo 2. Doesn't matter too much because I noticed if you do look on the list, like you can rename them the same thing twice and kind of puts it in chronological order. So I'll just go back and look at the 22nd. For me, it's like just after 5 p.m. So anyway, let me catch up on some chats and we'll say goodbye and we'll be ready to do it. Now I think that there's a chance that at some point tomorrow I may do like another little live stream like I did last week. No real, it'll be kind of off the cuff, I think, if I ever do them on Sunday. It depends on how the day goes. I do have to get some things around the house done, but I may come on tomorrow and just do a little bit of, depends on how much I want to play, in other words, versus do other things. But I do want to keep the construction moving on the regular series. So don't expect it, but, if you see me on there, don't be surprised either. That type thing. But I'm not going to plan it like I did last week. But I may just hit the go live button kind of thing. So it sort of depends on what's happening. The other issue with it is I kind of want to get the episode for Monday recorded tomorrow, and I don't necessarily want to do a live stream after that. So it kind of forces me to do my recording after, but whatever. All right, so anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know that. All right, so oh yeah, you're talking. I'm just reading back on the things. Yeah, the gravel yard. That was funny. I mean, the thing's burning right below me. I'm sitting here working. If you watch the regular series. You mean a cloth tissue, yeah, is a handkerchief. I'm going back. I know, just reading through the chat so I don't miss them. Yeah, handkerchief would be the name. Because it carried less people. Let's see what you're talking about with the 52 being cheaper. I didn't even notice that I didn't even look at the price. So there's 60. Well, this one goes 85 miles per hour. Where's the 52? Yeah, the 52 goes 65. Yeah, this one is, probably might have been better. I mean, I was more worried about we don't need too many people. Does this one use less energy? I don't know. I'd like to understand the whole energy and power and fuel usage a little bit better and how it relates. So yeah, this very well might have been another thing. Maybe we'll get this next time. I'm sure that's the one you meant, or you mean this one? Yeah, this one would even be better yet, wouldn't it? I don't know. Yeah, why is this one so much more? Uses a lot more energy. Maybe it accelerates faster? I don't really know. I don't know, because I wasn't paying that much attention to the price, to answer your question, Pietro. I just was buying buses based on the number of people they carried. I was really hoping for one that said 25. Yeah, this will... Oh, yeah, we can... Well, here's the other thing, too. Why don't we have gravel in here? Oh, because we're not... Here's the other thing to say. It won't purchase if we keep this supplied with gravel, right? But on the other hand, if we don't, then it will purchase, right? It doesn't take off the bottom first. It takes off the top, if you want to look at it that way. So, as long as we're producing, so until we get this working steadily, we could just leave this on. And if this is always full, we'll never purchase gravel. And the benefit to that, even doing that when you are really flowing well, is that if you, one of the things I've learned to do is come in here once in a while on your map and maybe look at last month and look at the things you're purchasing. So if you think you're self-sufficient with gravel, but then all of a sudden you come in here and you see, well, wait a minute, why are we purchasing gravel? I have a gravel quarry doing that. Next thing you know, you go over there and you see it's all jammed up or something, or that you don't have power to your. Here, you know what? Let's play time enough to get power to our thing, right? Do we have people working there? Yeah, let's end it with. Well, we'll just hit the save again. Yeah, let's even go fast. Oh, look, did he get fuel? Huh. No, he just gave up on fuel. Did he get fuel? Yeah, he got fuel. But look, he doesn't have any fuel in him. He just quit. He said, "To hell with it. I'm not waiting at this gas station anymore." Let's save it again. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think I ever noticed one like leaving. Look, he left. He doesn't have a full tank. That's funny. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but oh well. I mean, I'm not unhappy that he's getting back to work, but yeah, I never noticed that before. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow, Pietro. And all right, that's it. That's enough for now. As far as that's it. I'm not doing any more. I think we're in pretty good shape. We got some quarry action happening, so we'll stop buying all that gravel. We're getting our roads paved. We'll plan on doing our train over here of some sort, like so we'll have a little trucking route back and forth. We'll get our farm designed and sort of get that built first, but then right after that, we'll get our oil going and we'll get even a refinery planned. Like, we don't have to build all this stuff. Remember, it's going to still cost us, 200 and some. That's just like, we should have 300,000 when we're done. And if you look, we're already down to, 600. So, yeah, that money will go pretty quick here on us. So, yeah, if we're going to build the train, we're going to decide after we get our first industry built. Then we might have to flip a coin on train or roads. So, it's 7 a.m.? Jeez, you're on the other side of the world from here, aren't you? Is that Australia, I guess, or somewhere like that? Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here. Like, you know, just beautiful. It's like probably 26 C is a high, which is very nice. But this is the beginning of summer. It'll get worse. I lived in Arkansas. Well, Steve, you and I talked about that before. Yeah, Arkansas's pretty warm. It's not as bad as Houston, Texas, but it's warm. Okay, guys. Well, I definitely enjoyed the live stream again. Thank you all for showing up. I definitely appreciate it, and definitely look forward to it each week when before I do things. It's not something I want to do every day of the week, but I definitely enjoy it a lot on this one day. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys. I'll leave the stream going until I don't see any more chat action happening, but I'll just leave it up like I normally do for a minute or two here. Yep. Thanks, Shunner. See you, Pietro and Chuck, and I don't know if Radomir's still here, and Steve. See all of you. I hope to see you again next week, same time. I don't have anything planned for next weekend, so this should be we should be good to go again next Saturday at the same time. All right, take care, guys, and thanks again. I truly appreciate it. Bye-bye.